High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're Valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Because you already give them something money can't buy. We'll help with everything else, no matter what life holds. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Baker Bulldog Memorial Stadium in Baker City, Oregon. We're ready to bring you tonight's matchup, an interstate matchup between the homestanding Bulldogs of Baker City and the #1 ranked 3A team in the state of Idaho, the Homedale Trojans. Both teams will be heading out onto the field here shortly for the tossing of the coin. We've already had the national anthem about ready to get underway. A little bit late getting started today, as this has been an interesting doubleheader. Some of our few folks might have actually caught the first ball game today, also on IdahoSports.com, as Emmett came here to Baker City and met Lake City out of Coeur d'Alene, kind of a neutral site, not quite halfway. It was a short drive for Emmett compared to Coeur d'Alene. But we had a wild one here in the first game. Emmett pulling away 55-27 to win that ball game in the first matchup here tonight. But this one is a matchup of undefeated teams. The Homedale Trojans, 2-0. They have put up over 40 points in both of their previous ball games, both non-conference games. They've also had a pretty stout defensive performance so far this year. For Baker City, this will be their second game of the season, as they open with a victory over Cascade of Oregon in their first offering out last week. So they just started last week. Homedale, this is actually, I guess you'd call week 4 in the system, because they played in 0 week when they beat a team out of California that came up and christened that new artificial turf surface out at Homedale. And boy, they got christened on it all right. And that was a great way for Homedale to start, great tradition. And then I want to thank the folks at IdahoSports.com and for the gracious folks at Homedale to actually allow me back up Mike's side, because it's been 48 years since the last time I remember doing my first Homedale football game.
Gosh, you're old.
Yeah, it goes back into the 70s, and I remember, I believe it was in 76, and I remember going to some playoff games up at Lewiston High School that we played with Lapway and others, and I've always had a great tradition all the years in the 70s working with KCID Radio and doing Homedale games, and so many of those folks still around, and now it's probably their grandkids that are playing, the ones that I broadcast in those days. But Homedale, what a great tradition of football, a great tradition as a home community. And I'm excited to be doing this ball game here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, stepping forward from the Jurassic period to tonight, we actually have a great game coming. Homedale, as you said, #1 ranked 3A team in Idaho right now, coming to face the Baker Bulldogs here in Baker, Oregon. That's right, folks. We're not in Idaho, but thank goodness, because if it was in Idaho, it probably would have been canceled based on the smoke and the weather we have over there. But over here in Baker, nice clear, well, not clear skies, but close to, and the air is great down here in the valley.
Well, certainly. I mean, the near mountains have a smile haze. The far mountains are certainly locked away. But here in Valley, and this little bowl that this ball game is played in, as you call it, the Dog Bowl, it's actually Memorial Stadium, but it is. It's a sunken field about 20 feet down, setting here with a really nice setting. Absolutely gorgeous job done on manicuring and keeping this green during the year that we've had with all this heat. It's beautiful, so it should be a great playing surface. Not an artificial surface whatsoever, and there is a decent little pitch in the middle of this field. So yeah, those are things you have to kind of consider possibly on adjusting for passing plays. But otherwise, this should be a great matchup. As we said, these two teams coming in here undefeated. Homedale with victories over Laguna Beach High School out of California, 46-14 back on the 19th of August. Then last week, just shutting down Gooding, 49-0. Total dominance of that football game. And for the Baker Bulldogs, their only ball game was against the Cougars of Cascade last week. That's out in Turner, Oregon, over toward the Cascade mountain range. And Baker picked up the win there, 34-26. So they've shown they can score. Looking at these two teams, the one thing that really hits me is the total number of players on the roster.
Yeah, you have a big
Baker does not have a huge contingent of ball players. Looking across the field, you can see all the Homedale players that are not starting, and that's a pretty good lineup over there.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this sideline, you only have about, I would say, another 11 on the sideline here for Baker. And the biggest thing to keep in mind is when you're looking at their starting lineup, they run 7 players both ways. There's really only 4 players that come in, whether it's on offense or defense. So you're going to look at a lot of the same players for Baker, and Homedale does have that flexibility to switch out, though a lot of their players go both ways as well. So,
and that's typical of the smaller schools. That was actually a surprising factor in the first game today, is both 5A Lake City has 7 players that go both ways in their starting group, which is rare for a 5A school. Emmett usually has about that many, and Emmett is, of course, the smallest of the 4A schools in the state, so they're usually in that boat. But and it wasn't that long ago Emmett was in the conference with the Homedale Trojans. In 2015, the Huskies ran to their only state championship ever, and that was at the 3A division with victories over Homedale and Weiser and Fruitland. And they've actually started the year with a victory over Fruitland. But right now it looks like it's Homedale and Sugar Salem just simply heading right down toward where they've been the last 4 years in the semifinals and finals of the 3A ranks, with Weiser mixed into that mix. And Homedale's going to take the opening kickoff, and they're going to take it on the far sideline and bring it up, and about looks like about a 20-yard run, and then all of a sudden about a 10-yard pushback.
I was going to say he hit a wall there. I mean,
Rylan Binford was the one who was returning that ball.
Isaac Cleveland, among others, there on the tackle to stop that return. Another thing we need to mention, that it's a good thing that these rosters aren't too big, because there's not a lot of sideline room. You've got about 5-6 yards on the near side between the sideline and the stands, and you've got about 5 on the far side, so not a lot of room.
Yeah, it's not a place to have 30 or 50 ball players and still try to keep them into that zone that you have to keep in between the 25s. Handoff inside for the Huskies as they take the first dive play straight up the middle, and will pick up about 3 yards. The Homedale fans, for the most part, are setting across the way. We're setting on the 50-yard line on the home side of the field, and a good turnout here for Baker. We had actually a pretty good turnout for the first ball game for both teams, and traveling at least a couple of hours or more to be here. But Baker, the home team, and they're undefeated, and they know they've got their hands cut out. And right now they've got Homedale at 2nd and 7, just outside their own 20-yard line. Keeping the basketball, Jackson Dine's going to keep it. He's not going to get first down yard. He's going to get a couple of yards, and that's it. It'll be 3rd down and about 6 coming up for the Trojans, as Dash Bloomer is there to put the stop on Dines. Dines throws the ball. They throw it well. Homedale throws the ball well. So far, it's been all on the ground.
I was going to say, opening up with 2 back-to-back runs, not very typical of this Homedale team, so we'll see what they go. I expect a throw here on 3rd and 5.
Dines calling signals.
Oh!
And jump by Baker on the end.
David Shaw unfortunately got a little bit excited there and just, beginning of the game jitters. It happens to all of us.
Yeah, probably one too many Red Bulls before this game started, and he got the little jump there. That'll cost him 5. Will not give him the first down, however. It'll be 3rd down and 1, though, and that certainly changes the perspectives of what Homedale may want to do. Homedale always has had a great running game, and they pass into it. Of course, they've had some great running backs in the last couple of years, but look at the change in the lineup. All of a sudden, they've powered up the backfield.
And there's the handoff down the middle. He's got a big gap on the outside. He bounced out to the left. A whole swarm of Baker players there to take him down, but only after a 10-yard gain.
Yeah, good, solid 10. In fact, let's call it 15 as they're going to mark it all the way out to the 44-yard line from the 28. Wow. So big pickup. He just kept moving, and that kind of patience we've been watching with some of the better backs this season. It's not just about speed and hitting the hole. It's finding the hole and then playing with it. Handoff goes right inside, moving straight forward with the football for no gain.
That's going to be number 25, Ryland Binford, on the carry.
Binford doesn't get anything out of that one. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the Homedale Trojans. Of course, the quarterback is Jackson Dines, a 5'11 senior. And then the running backs, you're going to find it's mostly going to be Binford. And then they have 3 receivers split out, and one of them going into motion. That is Lamelli. And he's going to come up through the split. Dines firing downfield. He was looking for his first receiver was Strong, but Strong was kind of tied up. And his secondary receiver, Lamelli, did not fill in the gap behind. So an incomplete pass and another 3rd down for the Homedale Trojans in their own territory.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those plays where as a quarterback you kind of see 2 receivers in the area and you kind of throw it in between the 2 of them and hope one of them can make a play. But unfortunately, too high over the head of one and too below the feet for the other.
Dines back to pass, facing pressure, gets a nice release out and nearing 1st down yardage. I think going to be just short of it. Is that Binford on the far side?
I believe so, yes.
Yep. So Binford with nice release, and that was just almost like a halfback screen. I didn't really see the screen set up, but he drew the defenders into the quarterback and left him open on the side. He'll pick up 8, and it'll be 4th down and 2 in Bulldog territory at their 46. Handoff goes to Binford, 1st down yardage. He's inside the 40 and still fighting for yardage. Comes back in, does not go out of bounds, and they're going to mark him, it looks like, all the way down to the 35-yard line.
Binford has done some work so far this game. They've actually handed off, I believe that was the 8th carry on this drive.
Yeah, Ryland Binford, senior, 5'8", 175-pound, good speed. Dines, handoff again. Binford are going to be met in the backfield and they'll lose some yardage here.
Yeah, that's Jaden Grisham Clark getting great penetration there and just stopping the line right before, actually for a 4-yard loss. So great penetration there by the senior.
Baker really getting into the backfield on that one. But right now, Homedale continuing. I mean, they've had a couple little flare passes, but for the most part, it's that power of football right up the gut.
Homedale is definitely trying to make a statement with how much they're running this. They want to start the game off on the ground. They do have a great passing team, but you see once again they pitch off to the right, and Binford's going to stumble forward only to gain about a 4-yard run, taking it back to 3rd and 9.
He gets back to the original line of scrimmage and then a little bit more, but didn't get the space to open up that he was hoping for there, I don't think. Cut back, because if he'd gone outside, I think it would have been strung out and he gotten even less. So made a good choice as far as where he was moving on the right side, but tucked back in. So Binford behind Dines.
You got 3 wideouts to the far side.
Trips to the left. Dines rolls to the left. Looks downfield, fires it up, and the ball is going to be incomplete. Coming down with it momentarily was
Number 9.
9, Luke Henry, but can't hold on to it. And that will bring up now 4th down. But 4th down has been like the magic down for Homedale so far in this one. They've converted 2 already in this one.
Well,
this will be the longest.
And you can't help but talk about the last game that we just had where there wasn't a single 4th down. There was one.
Early in the game,
fourths,
there were a couple of them that do it, but later in the game, it was more fireworks. Again, 3 receivers, but split on the left side. Firing deep, wide open, but the ball is overthrown and onto the wrong side. Looking back for that again was Henry, I believe. And he looked back to the left, and the ball went to the actually, he looked over his right shoulder. The ball went to the left, and it goes incomplete. So Homedale, after picking up 3 first downs, going to turn it over on downs at the 34-yard line. And the Bulldogs will have their first opportunity to see what they can do.
I have to give some credit to Jackson Dines there. That was not a horrible pass.
No.
The receiver just didn't make the adjustment. And that's one of those moments where you have to question if possibly it was in a light in the eyes.
Well, rolling out with the ball is Paul Hobson, and he connects with a receiver for a first down yardage over the middle of the field to Malachi Meyer. Hobson with a 12, 15-yard strike. And the Bulldogs move quickly toward midfield. We haven't been able to get enough statistical information to see what kind of offense this team really runs, whether a running team or a firing team, but so many of them anymore are using that spread offense. Ball is fumbled on the snap, and in there quickly to put the stop on the quarterback is number 88, Chase Cooper.
Yeah. So not what you want to start out the game. Once again, you get the sense of these early game jitters and end up fumbling the ball and then end up having to take a sack for a 5-yard, almost 6-yard loss.
Yeah. So 2nd down now and good 16 yards from the 41. They have to get it to the Homedale 44-yard line. Tate Powell goes into motion for the Bulldogs. Hobson back to pass, fires a completion, but it's going to be an incomplete pass. He made the connection with Dash Bloomer, but a good defensive effort by number 22 for Homedale. That is Dior Packer.
I'm going to say that's Rylan Binford,
and Binford in there as well to strip that away and make sure that he can't really hold on to it, even though the ball did get to him. He could not hold on, so it'll be 3rd down and 16 coming up from the 40. Hobson cutting signals. 2 receivers on the left, has a receiver in motion coming across as Rashawn Jones. Pass over the middle, and it is caught. Great reception by Malachi Meyer, and it just barely got past the outstretched hands of the defender.
Yeah, that's number 40. No. I don't seem to. 12. That's number 12. That's Elijah Renteria.
Nearly came up with a pick, but and he was fortunate that the receiver went down because he was behind him and he went down. If he had kept his feet, he could have possibly taken it the rest of the way, but it's 1st and 10.
It's 4th and 2, actually.
Excuse me,
they
you're
marked
right.
him short.
And they're not going to make it. I thought they already had it further down. They marked it at the 45. He had 1.5 yards to go, and beautiful dive play, and they're knocking Hobson down, and that is Mason Strong with the defensive stop, and we're going to turn the ball over on downs.
For the 2nd time in this game. And only 20 yards of offense done on either side of the ball.
Yeah, so defenses stepping up here. Of course, penalties, or actually it hasn't been penalties. It's been big defensive plays and loss of yardage that's hurt both teams when it looked like they might start to get something moving.
It seems to happen at every game that we say it's going to be a shootout or a high-scoring game, and all of a sudden we have a defensive battle on our hands.
Well, we sort of said it was going to be a shootout in the first game tonight, and it was. Back to pass is Dines. Nice pass out into the flat. Nice catch and run. Ooh! Ooh! We're going to have an injured player, I think, over here. The Homedale player was brought, and he hits into the concrete side here. The raised stands on this side is right against. I mean, we're not 10 yards. We're 5 yards from the
sideline.
raised stand. It's a raised concrete platform, probably about 3-4 feet high, and then a railing above that, and the receiver.
And he hit his head hard on that concrete as he got pushed out of bounds.
He got pushed out, and so Coach Holtry is over here working with his player, and he's getting up. That is number 9, Luke Henry, again.
Yeah, and he will be walking off in his own power, though. They will be going over concussion protocol to make sure.
I am certainly. He's number 9, Luke Henry. He's a sophomore, 5'9", and he has been a huge factor already early in this game. And now he takes a pat from one of his teammates, and he starts to jog to the sideline. He wants back in this one quickly.
I think we're going to see him back in after they get that concussion protocol out.
I would think for certain they will probably at least give him a few eye checks here.
There will be a once-over because that is the law. You have to do that, and otherwise you cannot come back into the game, especially with a head injury like that.
Yeah.
But I would expect to see him back the way he's running off the field there.
Yeah, well, good news there, and a first down pickup. Excuse me, not a first down. It was an 8-yard pickup, so 2nd and 2, and it'll be a pickup of the first down by Binford. If he can make the corner, he does, and he'll pick up about 7 yards. Now we have a late flag, which is clear back 20 yards away from the play. Rashawn Johnson with the Jones with the push out on the far side on Binford. But what's the whistle going to be, and are they going to add on? No, they're going to subtract, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like a holding call on the Homedale offensive line.
And they're going to mark it from the point of the foul, it appears. So he picked up first down yardage, but with the hold, it'll be a 10-yard penalty from there, so that will make it now 3rd down, I would think, and about 6.
I will say a long 6. Yeah.
They're going to replay the down, which I thought when you get the yardage, it's from the point of the infraction. So, okay, 2nd down and 6 is the call. The ball is at the Baker 47-yard line, 46.5 somewhere in there. Jackson Dines gets the handoff, hands it off to number 23 for the Trojans running around the end line. That is Andrew Marston, the junior, and Marston picks up the first down. He wiped out that penalty and then some as he gets it down inside the 35 to the 34, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Trojans. Their second trip deep now into Baker territory. They were about here when it stalled out last time. Handoff on the cutback, and I believe that is Marston again. It is Andrew Marston. He'll get 4 yards down to the 30.5.
Homedale running that hurry-up offense that they're so known for now, really picking up the pace.
Marston again, and he's going to be hit as he gets near the line of scrimmage and pushed back. The linebackers from Baker, very, very active. Dash Bloomer coming through. And Homedale been able to do a little bit of work on the line, but that secondary, that first wave past the line, from Baker has been pretty active and effective here so far in the ball game.
Update for you on number 9, our Homedale player, Luke Henry. His helmet's back on, so I would expect you're probably going to see him back into the game soon.
Dines calling signals, rolls to his right, looking downfield, being chased. He's going to have to throw it away. No, he throws it downfield for a completion. Only a few yards going to be picked up as Dylan Fine comes up with the reception, but he's only going to get to about the 28-yard line, so a pickup of about 3, and all of a sudden we're looking at another 4th down situation for the Trojans.
And I could be wrong, but it looks like they're setting up for a field goal?
Well, I was watching their kicker out here earlier tonight, and he was hitting from the 50, and he was getting there. No, they're going to
go for it. Okay.
Yeah, they're a little long for a high school field goal probably here, though they might need it at some point. Dines rolls to his left, now looks back, going downfield, fires for the end zone. It's incomplete, but he will draw the yellow flag, and sometimes that's more what the play's designed to do than it is for the completion.
Yeah, Caden Garvin there getting called with the pass interference, but if from the eye test, I'd almost say he fell over, but you never know. I'm not as close as the official is. So.
Right, we're a long ways away, but it is one of those sometimes when the ball is maybe a little bit underthrown from where the receiver is, as he slows down to try to come back to the ball, that defender will come into you, and most of the time, that hanky is not going to be waved in the face of the offensive player.
No. No, and something else to keep in mind, the officials have to keep the receivers protective as they are much less protected on offense. So you kind of have to lean on the side of caution there if it was a possible penalty.
Yeah. The call will march in. And in some regard, if that contact kept it from being a completion, it was a great penalty because it's a 15-yard mark-off rather than a touchdown or certainly down at the goal line. Yeah. Handoff, going to go inside, right straight ahead, diving, looking for the end zone and coming up just short. What a drive for the running back, and I believe that again was Marston?
That was 25.
Okay, Benford is back in for that. Okay, so Benford with the carry. That's about a 12-yard pickup. It'll be first and goal at the 3-yard line for the Huskies. Benford with the handoff, and he's going to bounce his way into the end zone. Nope.
They're going to mark him just short, inches.
Yeah, he's got to be right there where the chalk can smell the football. But no contact, apparently. So second down and about as close as you can get. It's a burp away with 3:44 to go in the first quarter. Homedale trying to get on the board, and Dines will take it in for the touchdown. Jackson Dines with his first score of the night. Certainly not his first of the season. He's put up a number of them, both passing and by foot. This one doesn't help the stats, though. It's only a 1-yard run.
Hey, a touchdown's a touchdown, Dale. You kind of have to take what you can get when you can get it.
Yeah, 3:37 to go here in the first quarter. And Homedale with the early advantage. Football is placed. Nearly takes it out of the stadium. He splits the upright.
And it is good.
So the extra point is good. And the Trojans have taken a 7-0 lead with 3 minutes and 37 seconds to go here in the first quarter to take the advantage in this football game. This ball game brought to you on IdahoSports.com. At GameStream Production, the Treasure Valley Game Night is presented by Mountain West Bank. It's also brought by our major advertising partners, Project Filter, Valley-Wide Cooperative, the Idaho Transportation Department, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Next Steps Idaho, and your local Toyota dealers. And our local sponsors tonight making this ball game possible, Madison's Napa Auto Parts in Homedale and Vance Dairy Construction. Our great supporters who help make these broadcasts possible, free to you on IdahoSports.com. Remember, if you want to get a copy of this ball game, all you have to do is go to the right-hand corner and click. You can purchase a digital copy that'll be downloaded to you probably tomorrow once the game's completed for just $9.95. Makes a great collecting piece, and particularly if you got a ball player playing on one of these teams, and you can pretty much bring home a good portion of his season on video to keep forever. Homedale with the kickoff. It's going to go deep down to the 10-yard line. Here comes the return back up the near side. Nice run coming up to the near side. And ball is on the ground with the completion. The run return was by Rashawn Jones, and had that extra excitement from the fans after he went down, and I thought maybe we had a flag on top of it.
No, he was just crawling for more yards, and
just kept going.
The Baker home stands here really, really excited for that guy who's just not giving up on the play, as they should be.
That WWE guy trying to get to the ropes on the sideline, and move it a little bit further. But it is 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line for Baker. They're going to break it outside. Nice run on the way. Going around the perimeter is Jackson Logsdon. And Logsdon's going to pick up 10 yards, make it 11. He's across the 45. I think he has enough for first down yardage. And Baker been able to rake off a couple with Jeffrey Lane with the defensive stop for the Trojans. 3:21 remaining in the first quarter. For the most part, both these teams have been keeping it on the ground.
No big, huge plays other than the one that led to the Homedale touch. Well, actually, that was taken away by a penalty.
Yeah. So what a beautiful moon tonight as we see it coming up over the foothills to the east of us here, and a beautiful night. You could even see it. I doubt you could see the moon in the Treasure Valley from what we understand the smoke damage is, or the smoke inundation is. A good 5-6 yard pickup on the quick flare-out pass, and the Bulldogs have it in Trojan territory for the second time tonight. Last time they got here, they came up short on 4th down, but they've got a second down and, well, really just 2nd and 5. Hobson calling the signals. One back behind him, one set to the side. Handoff goes to the back in the backfield with him. That is Caden Garvin. And Garvin will get a yard at best. I'm not sure they're going to give him any real forward progress. Yeah. We're going to keep it 3rd down, and it's a shaved 5 yards to go.
You could have heard the homestands not super excited about that. They thought it was an offsides call. But remember, you can move on the defensive line. You just can't come across the line of scrimmage.
Can't get across that neutral zone. And there were like 2 or 3 Trojans doing a little movement on there, but didn't get the call. Pass back, Hobson firing over the middle. Ooh. Whoa! What a near connection with Hudson Spike, but defensively making the stop, Elijah Renteria for the Trojans. Not even a stop, he made the deflection and just had enough body at the right time in the right space, but that was a bullet that was intended for another completion across the center, and it goes for naught, and we have another 4th down situation.
It looks like this time it will bring out the punting unit, so we will see a punt from Baker. Well, most likely.
I'm not sure if Homedale's buying it. They're not sending anybody back. And a nice punt, but it takes a Homedale bounce, hits at about the 15 and comes back to about the 21-yard line, where Homedale will have, well, in honesty, their worst field position to start the football game, but it's not disastrous whatsoever. And for the second time in a row, they've been able to stop Baker's offense at midfield.
Yeah, 1:45 left in the quarter, and it's been a pretty slugful game. It's very much a boxing match this evening, where both teams aren't getting any big uppercuts. It's just little body shots here and there and there and there. So
we'll see if that's to set up something for the big strike later, or if we're just going to play smash mouth football all night long. Little pass out for Homedale out into the wing, and picking it up is Keaton Sorensen.
Nope, that's number 9 back in the game. That's Luke Henry.
Okay,
so he is back in the game.
Luke Henry is back already, gets hit, picked up a couple of yards, but we have a flag at the end of the play.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be holding on Mason Strong, number 2 on the offense, if I had to guess.
So you think we got an offensive they are talking with Baker right now. The white cap, the head official, is checking with the Baker captain. So if whatever they picked up, it wasn't much, and it won't matter because they're going to get backed up with the penalty.
Right, so now the question is, if it is a holding call, you have to decide, do you decline it or do you accept it? If you decline it, it's 2nd down and 10. If you accept it, it's still 1st down, but it takes it back. So.
Yeah, and that's somewhat of a field position battle right now.
Right.
I mean, when you're already clear back at your own 20, I think if I was Baker, I'd back them up again.
Nope, they're just going to take the 2nd down and 10.
They're going to decline it and just take it 2nd and 10 instead of 1st and 15. And I guess that's also the strategy when you've got a team that's got a power running game. Just give them less chances to move that 10 or 15 yards. Now, Homedale spending all of the players looking over like they're bird watching. They're actually looking for Coach Holtry over on the sideline to see what his instructions are. Snap to Dines. Handoff goes to Binford, and Binford's going to drive forward. He's going to get good yardage. For a 2nd down and 10, he's going to probably pick up good 6 of those.
Yeah, before he runs into a whole slew of Baker Bulldogs. Cole Richards leading the charge there, but
I've noticed on a lot of these plays where Homedale makes a penetration, they're getting pushed back. I mean, the Baker defenders are coming in with a really good angle to be able to, instead of just dropping them or stopping them, they're pushing them back.
Well, and not only that, but they're doing a great job of swarming to the football. Every tackle's got 3 to 4 players on it, which is exactly what you want. So
3rd and 4, Dines with the late pass, gets it off to Binford, and there's a halfback screen, and he brings it for 1st down yardage out to the 38-yard line. that has been the most effective play in the ball game about 3 times now. Binford comes out of the running back position and is able to get the pass from Dines off on that left side.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if you keep going back to him and it keeps working, why not?
So far, there's been no answer. It hasn't broken for huge yardage, but it's been big yardage for big first down plays, and a good drive on the first handoff inside. This time it is 23 that's driving forward, Andrew Marston. Marston will pick up about 6 yards on the carry. So Homedale back to their patented run, run, run.
Which I don't feel like has been the case for Homedale so far this year. They tend to throw the ball more, so a different look from this team, and I like it. It's working well.
Sometimes that's just to set up your dominance. And now we're going to take it long and deep and fighting for the ball and unable to hold on to it. Having to kind of push off to even get a chance at that was Mason Strong. He got his hands on it. He had a defender that was bumping him pretty good before the ball got there. But no flags, no harm, no foul. Is that how they call it?
Yeah. Malachi Meyer and Rashawn Jones there on the defense for the Bulldogs.
That was 2nd and 4, so Homedale takes a home run strike. And they get called for it, so now it'll be 3rd down and 4. But they've been pretty consistent with 3rd and 4 down yardage.
I was going to say, look for that halfback screen to the left side again.
Looking back to
and
the
there
left.
It is.
Going
it's picked off.
And it's picked by number 13. That is Hudson Spike. And Spike's going to return it all the way down inside the 20-yard line. Went to the well one too many times. Spike read it. And Hudson Spike gets the first turnover of the football game. And Baker is now in deep territory, almost to the red zone against the Trojans. And that is the last play of the first quarter. We've completed 12 minutes of play. It's Homedale 7 and Baker nothing. We'll be back to take a look at what's going on with this second quarter and in the SRV in just a moment.
Why spend 15 minutes quoting your insurance with one company? Go to biginsurance.com and let leading insurance companies shop for your insurance. You can even chat with one of our agents standing by, only at biginsurance.com.
Madison's Napa Auto Parts in Homedale has been locally owned and operated since 1977 in Homedale. I remember when they opened. They have everything you need, and they have it in stock. That's rare nowadays, you know that? That includes auto parts, tools, equipment, along with many other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine, and farming equipment. Madison's Napa Auto Parts in Homedale, proud supporters of Homedale Trojans. Good luck this weekend, say the folks at Madison Napa Auto Parts. And the Trojans had luck going with him for a while, but a little bad luck there. A little pick-off of a pass, and Baker operating. Now down at the 25-yard line is where they finally set that one up. Back to pass. Hobson fires to the near sideline, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds, but the reception will be complete before he's knocked out of bounds.
Yep, and that's going to be Rashawn Jones on the reception there.
So Jones with the catch, and he's going to be not quite. I thought he was going to be inside the 15. He's outside the 15. It'll be 2nd down and a long 2 at about the 17-yard line. Deep back, Jackson Logden behind quarterback Paul Hobson. Hobson takes the handoff. No, he's going to come back and coming around. The fake was to Logston. Coming back on that, it was Dash Bloomer, and he's going to lose yardage as he came swinging back, got the handout from the quarterback at Homedale. Did not bite. The gentleman on the left side of the defensive line stayed in their place, held their spot, and moved forward to get the loss. So all of a sudden, instead of 2nd and 2, it's 3rd down and 4. Homedale has stopped Baker twice in their territory on 4th downs. Can they do it a 3rd consecutive trip? It's 3rd down and 4 here with 11:12 to play. Again, traffic is coming in wide open to the outside. Pass, catch and pass goes from Hobson to Malachi Meyer. Will Meyer get the first down?
They will give him first down yardage, so that's going to be a 7-yard reception for Meyer.
Looked like for a moment he might be even stopped short, but he was wide open there for the pass. Nobody near him when the pass left the quarterback's hands. There was good 10 yards between him and a defender. Homedale
Mason
recovered.
Strong did get up there to pull him down, but not till the damage had been done.
He got to the first down, but he certainly didn't get free to take it in. So it'll be 1st and 10 at about the 14-yard line for Baker. Threatening here to tie this one up, and they're not going to do it with that handoff as Logston's going to be nailed in the backfield. Got the handoff from the quarterback, and he is dropped by Binford. Rylan Binford, he is everywhere on this field. Great quickness, both directions, forward and sideways.
And something to take note, the Homedale roster is much larger, but they actually are a smaller team in size overall, with not a single player over 6'2", and a 6'5" player here on the Baker Bulldog team.
And Baker goes to the corner for the touchdown, I believe. No, he goes out of bounds short of the pylon at the 1-yard line. Hobson with a bullet to Malachi Meyer, but he goes out of bounds just short of the pylon. It'll be 1st and goal for Baker, just inches away from pay dirt and tying this one up. We have 9:59 remaining here in the second quarter as the Bulldogs trying to even up the evening with the Trojans. Official signaling something like, I don't know, I thought it was stop the clock, but maybe he was just waving from the one behind the line to the one in front of the line. 1st and goal for Bulldogs. Snap is fumbled, and then a handoff is picked up and given to Logston, and he's chased laterally to the left side. Again, Binford there for the stop, and that's a loss of about 1.5 yards. So I don't think they wanted to be going east-west. They wanted to be going north-south on that drive, but when the snap was fumbled, it kind of broke up what they had in mind, I think. Again, the quarterback, Hobson, counting signals with Logston to his right side. Now he's going to gets the pitch outside and stop short of the goal line. No, getting in for the touchdown was number 15.
Yep.
So that was Malachi Meyer coming around from the end position to take the handoff, and Meyer scores from 2 yards out. So we have a 1-yard run by Dines, and now we have a 2-yard run by Malachi Meyer at the 9:03 mark. And this is second quarter. Homedale scored late in the first quarter. And let's see what the extra point attempt. Kicking it is Hudson Spike. He's a lefty.
Yeah, that's actually very uncommon. You got a left kicker.
Gets his foot into this one and just gets it in on the left side. We are tied with 9 minutes and 3 seconds remaining here in the first half. The Homedale Trojans and the Baker Bulldogs giving us a great one. A lot of defense, but a lot of motion as well. You know, there's no replacement for quality and experience. And that's what Vance Dairy Construction brings to every project it sets out on. Just like the Homedale Trojans, Vance Dairy Construction works hard to get it right the first time. And that's why they have the reputation that makes them the first call when the dairy industry is looking to build or repair. Call the team at Vance Dairy Construction to schedule your winter maintenance and renovation projects now. Get in line because there's going to be a long one. 208-337-3191. Vance Dairy Construction, helping build Idaho's dairy industry. All of them at Vance Dairy Construction, wishing the Trojans good luck tonight. And now they want to get rid of the luck and just put the power football back on the field as they get ready to receive the kick from Baker in a tie ball game. 9:03 to go here in the first half. Kick on the way. Left kick has kind of a hook to it. Looked like my drive off the golf range, but it's going to be picked up by Homedale deep, breaking the tackle and picking up about 5 yards, but still stopped deep. Homedale going to start their possession at about the 13 as Ryan Brown made the stop on the return attempt for Homedale. It's actually going to be placed right about the 11.5, 12-yard line. So Homedale starts this possession deep in their own territory, needing to put together a long drive.
Yeah,
try to keep the upper hand.
With 9 minutes left in the first half, you really have to put together a good drive here and put some points on the board before they give the ball back to Baker for the second half.
Well, they give the ball to Ryan Binford, and he's going to spin forward for yardage. Looks like maybe about 6 yards.
Yeah, I'd say 6. It was not fourth down, even though the marker on the far side of the field said so.
It was first down.
It was first.
Well, this is a commentary we probably should ignore because we've had some issues with the chain gang and the down marker in the first game tonight, and probably the same crew here in the second game. Diving forward, couple of yards, but it's going to be third down coming up. And now I think the whoever's running the down marker has he's just not sure how it works because now it's fourth down. It's third down. Okay, went from fourth to worst to fourth to what? Yeah, now we'll get the flip going. Okay, it's third down and 2 for the Homedale Trojans at the 20-yard line. 8 minutes to go.
You have to remember, Dale, probably all of the chain gang are volunteers, so we can't hold it against them.
No, and we need all the volunteers we can get today. And Ryan Binford is going to get the first down with a second effort. Looked like he might be held just short, but he leaned with that right shoulder and pulled away from the defender that was pulling him down to get a couple of extra yards. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Homedale at the 25-yard line. At their own 25. This started at the 12, so if they can make this a long, time-consuming drive and get something out of it, could help put a mark on this football game. Handoff again to Binford.
Yeah, Binford's been all over the field tonight.
No, that's not Binford. That is 23 this time that is carrying it. That is Marston with the carry. So Marston picks up about 4 yards. And Trojans have been chipping away 3, 4, 5, 6 yards with that run off a tackle. Trying to pound it inside. Use their athleticism on the line against what appears to be at least girth and weight-wise a bigger Baker line. Handoff goes inside. A couple of yards at best is all that's going to be picked up. Is a lot of traffic and a lot of pile up at the line. That again was Marston.
3rd and 5. I would expect probably a 5 and out on the far side for a pass here on this next play. I mean, they've been getting chips going with the run, but at 3rd and 5, you got to make something happen here. You cannot give the ball back at this field.
But you want to be careful, too, because it was the interception that put Baker in field position to eventually score.
I'm going to change my prediction to the near side. There it is.
And it's coming back, a nice wide receiver screen that goes nowhere. Completion was there, but Baker's defense was there. Mason Strong actually is going to lose a yard, I think, as Tate Powell is there to put the stop on for the Baker Bulldogs at a 4th down coming up. And this is all the way back inside the 30-yard line. So Homedale appears like they're going to make their first punt attempt of the night, and that's Sigmund Good, I believe, number 1.
Yeah, and I got to give some props to Tate Powell on that one. He came from the defensive end position out and read that play perfectly and got the stop on the receiver.
Nice high punt, not real long. Signaling for a fair catch, but letting it drop and fall was number 15, Malachi Meyer, but it rolls dead at about the 40-yard line. So Baker will have good field position at their own 40 with 5:29 remaining here in the first half. Looking to see if they can grab their first lead, and I believe it would be the first lead of the season, or the first deficit of the season that Homedale would have looked at. But we're a long ways away. It's still 60 yards. I don't care what you call it.
And we haven't quite seen that explosive 40-yard pass yet. So.
No, we haven't seen the kind of explosions we saw in our first game tonight, and so it's a very different style football game. As we try to adjust to that, Homedale again, little motion on the line. The snap is missed, and it's falling on it and losing the 15 yards on that. That's a costly one.
Jackson Logsden in the backfield finally falling on that.
Yeah, the running back who was waiting to get the handoff had to chase down the the snap. That's the second or third time the snap to the quarterback has been missed by Baker. And that's a big march off. It is 13, 14 yards. They have to get to the 50-yard line, and they're at the 26. So second down and 24 now for Baker. That's good as a better punt. Homedale trying to get field position to move around. They're going to fire it out in the middle, and then is it complete?
They're calling it complete and a fumble.
No, he's calling it, I think, on the far side, incomplete. Or is he calling it a completion and down? He's giving the completion to the wide receiver. That was Meyer, and then saying his knee must have been down.
The ball hit the ground, and the ground cannot force a fumble in high school football.
Right.
That's something to keep in mind. So when the ball hits the ground and he loses possession, that's officially down.
As long as he had possession prior to the contact with the ground. Because he was not hit by another player going down.
No, he fell down, and the ball hit the ground and fell out. So that is down where the ball is lost.
So that was a break, but it picked up 2 yards.
Yeah.
So it's third down and still over 20 yards to go for Baker, and they're going to call timeout with 3:53 to go here in the quarter and bring it to the near side so they can talk about what they want to do here. It is third and long, and this is one of those things you don't want to gamble too much because you're in a position you turn it over, you can be in trouble.
It's a tied game, so you kind of have to play it safe. But at the same time, with 3 minutes, 53 seconds left in the half, you start to question, you got to put something on the board because Homedale gets the ball start of second half. You don't want to go in with a tied score. You really want to have that lead. So it's third down and about 20 yards for the 22 yards for the first down. I think you take a shot downfield, and if you don't get it, fourth down, you punt it away.
Well, you called that in our earlier game tonight, and that's exactly what the teams did. And Emmett scored 3 touchdowns in the last 7 minutes of the first half to come from 13 down to take a lead, and then ran away with it in the second half. And it was just aggressive play calling that turned the tide in that one with the hurry-up offense. And in this one, but it's a different ball game, a totally different style game than we saw in the first game.
This is very much a ground and pound game, whereas the first game we played tonight was an air it out slugfest. So,
yeah, both these teams will air it out and go down when they feel that they've got you kind of tucked in there defensively. But obviously they're running another miss snapped by Baker, and the quarterback has to fall on it, and he's going to lose another 10 yards, I think. That has become a huge factor in this series. That's 2 of them for a 25-yard loss between the 2 of them.
Yeah, and David Shaw, you can see the frustration on his face. He kind of hitting his head after that one. You got to make the adjustments. He's also the long snapper, and all the long snaps have been perfect. So it's just that mental game that he's fighting right now. You just got to get it out of your head, wipe it out of your head, and start fresh.
It's part of playing from the shotgun. Beautiful punt. It's going to go all the way back inside the 35-yard line. Line of scrimmage was the 18 of Baker, and Homedale was set up for an opportunity to have great field position. This won't be bad field position, but not what you would kind of expect. You sort of think of about a 30-yard exchange, so you were figuring to get the ball at midfield. You're not getting it there. You're getting it inside the 35 at the 33.
Officially a 63-yard punt.
Yeah, and a 67-yard drive you got to go with here. Handoff, near side, Dines, hit, spins, drives forward, gets another 3 yards. He'll pick up 5 all the way to the 39-yard line. We'll leave it at 5. Actually, they got it placed right there on the 40-yard line.
Homedale does get the ball at the start of second half. You got to keep that in mind.
Right.
So,
but that's when you got to say, okay, you don't want to give the ball back here, but if we can score here and get the ball back to start the second half, this is, well, we talked about that 4 minutes before and after the halftime break. How can you control it? And Dines is going to control it as he breaks past the 45, up to 50, and now down to the 46-yard line of the Baker Bulldogs. He just found a seam and scooted back to the right side.
Well, and you'll notice.
And that was not Dines. That was Binford.
You have to notice that you had a Mario Coulier all the way down the field with him, blocking for him. So the offensive line.
I believe that's probably Cuellar.
Oh, thank you.
But we may be wrong there too. So we try to get the pronunciations as correct as we can. Dines is looking downfield. He's firing it out there, and he gets it all the way down. And inside is he in for the touchdown? That is number 3, Dines. They just sucked you in and played the outside. He gets the fly game going, and he fires it downfield to Danny Lamelli, the junior, a 5'4", 143-pounder. And Lamelli runs under the bomb from Dines, and the Trojans have retaken the lead.
Yeah, with minute 57 left in the half, they have taken that 6-point lead, trying to make it 7. Now the question starts becoming, they get the ball back at the half, but you left 2 minutes on the clock for Baker to score.
Well, on the other side, if your defense with the bad snaps there, you might even get that possession back again.
The kick was up and good, so far kicker's been perfect tonight. We have a 14-7 game with
minute 57 to go before the intermission. So we've been sitting here saying, well, we don't have any big plays. We don't have any home run balls. We just had well, I wouldn't call that a home run or inside the Parker, but that was a triple as Lamelli is able to run under that one and take it in for the score. So big strike for the Trojans to regain the advantage 14-7, and they'll be kicking it around here shortly. If you're sitting there watching your screen or your computer or however you're watching this on IdahoSports.com GameStream, remember up on your right-hand corner there's the opportunity to purchase this ball game. You can actually get an archive digital download that'll come to you tomorrow, or you can get it tomorrow. But you can purchase it tonight, reserve it, and just click on there and put it in for $9.95. You can have this game in your memory bank and in your I guess you put it in your digital scrapbook, and you can do that with all these ball games this year.
Del, I know you're old, but you got to be a little bit more familiar with how a computer works. Not quite a scrapbook, but hey, we appreciate the effort there.
I did say digital scrapbook.
You did say digital. I'll give you that one.
Not my acid-free paper scrapbook.
Oh gosh.
Long kick, taken on the run on the far side, and nearly breaking to get away. I believe that's Malachi Meyer again. Is that 15 for Baker? Meyer does have great speed, a 5'10 junior, and he started up on the outside, and if he hadn't got upended where he was, he could have maybe made some real magic out there in the field, but a good 30-yard return on the kickoff.
Dylan Fine, the backup quarterback, saving what could have been a touchdown there.
So Baker starting at their own 40-yard line. They're going to kick it out to the near side. Nice move made by the running back. That is Jackson Logsdon as he gets the pass out of the backfield, and he'll pick up 15, 16. They'll make it 18 yards all the way down to the Homedale 41-yard line. So after all this run, we're not seeing the passing game from both of these teams.
Yeah, and now you're getting the no-huddle offense by the Baker Bulldogs. A sling pass out to the running back, number 4, just is going to get back to the line of scrimmage, though, before he's tackled up by a whole host of Homedale players.
He actually did a good job to get back to the line of scrimmage because it looked like he took that pass about 4 yards behind the line and was able to get back in a hurry-up offense. And, of course, I guess that's what it's 2-minute drill, so both teams pull it out, and they're working with it. Second down and 10. Hobson races out of there. He's going to be tackled after a short gain.
Yeah, Mason Strong in the coverage there. Great read, saving what could have potentially been a good gain, but ends up only getting 1 yard to bring up 3rd and 9.
Yeah, Hobson looked like he had the field, and Strong coming up very strong and made a great one-on-one tackle.
Puns, it hurts.
Clock is running inside 45 seconds to go here in the first half, a 14-7 Homedale lead. Snap on the ground, and the quarterback had to kneel to get it, and he is
he's not happy about that one, and I wouldn't be either.
No, that's they've had some problems, and that's killed the last drive. In fact, it was with big issues. Here it didn't get behind him at least. But
now remember, the clock is still running, so we have 20 seconds left in the first half, and they've got to get a play off. It's now 15 seconds. They've got to call the play.
And they're still looking to the side to get the call.
And
now
it's fourth
the coach
down.
just gave him the call.
10 seconds.
Well, and that's why he's probably delaying. It's a one-play fourth down situation here. He either goes all the way for it, fires it over the middle. It is caught by Malachi Meyer, breaks the tackle. He goes to the outside. He breaks inside, and he's shoestring tackled at the 12 to end the scoring threat and the half. Making the stop, Sigmund Good, as he saves what looked like it could be a miraculous run by Malachi Meyer. He broke a couple, looked like he was going to get free, and Good brings him down as the clock runs out, and the first half is going to end as the Homedale Trojans will hold on to a 14-7 lead over the Baker City Bulldogs. We'll be back to talk about this first half and look at some of the season ahead when we return to Baker City, Oregon shortly.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're a valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Because you already give them something money can't buy. We'll help with everything else, no matter what life holds. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
We are back at Baker Bulldog Memorial Stadium in Baker City, Oregon. It is halftime with the Homedale Trojans leading the Baker City Bulldogs 14-7. And this is really a warm-up for Homedale. They've got one more non-conference game, and it could be a real challenge. They're going to Sandpoint next week. They'll be all the way up to play another set of Bulldogs. And Sandpoint right now made the 4A state championship game last year before they fell to Skyline. And Sandpoint was considered at the top, so they're ranked in the top 5 in the state, even though they're 0-2 on the season. They opened up with some of the big schools in Utah. They really made some travel this year, and they will be a big contender from the north part of the state in the 4A ranks. But Homedale right now, #1 in the 3A ranks. #2 is Sugar Salem. #3 is defending state champion Weiser. And I think you're going to see those three fighting it out all the way down the stretch, and probably the same kind of matchups. Last year, Homedale losing to Sugar Salem in the semifinals after having lost to them 2 consecutive years in the championship game. So they went out earlier and then saw their nemesis within the Southern Snake River Valley Conference. The Weiser Wolverines knocked Sugar Salem off in was a double or triple overtime last year for the state 3A title. So it's great football, 3A football in Idaho, and we're maybe at Oregon, but we're seeing some pretty good football here tonight. And Homedale hitting hard, and they've got a 14-7 lead. But as we said, after tonight, they go up to Sandpoint and take on a team that I said they're 0-2 going into this weekend. We were going to try to give you a roundup of what's going on in other ball games tonight elsewhere in the Treasure Valley. We have no confirmation that any ball games are even being played. We've heard a number of them were canceled, and I don't know if they were all canceled for tonight. And obviously, if they're canceled, then how do they get played? There was a time when you'd cancel on a Friday night because of smoke. You'd reschedule for Saturday morning because usually smoke levels were lower. But we'll have to check that one out. And maybe Paul Kingsbury and the powers that be at Idaho Sports can provide us some of that information down the road as to what's happening with other games. But we've been really blessed over here in the Baker Valley tonight. This afternoon we drove over about noon, and by the time we about halfway from Ontario, the smoke started to dissipate, and there's a little bit leaning around the foothills here up near Anthony Lakes and back out toward Enterprise. But for the most part, right here in the valley, it's been really clean. We got a beautiful harvest moon out tonight to the west, to the east of us here from where we're setting that Bulldog Bowl. So beautiful night in Baker City, and right now the Homedale Trojans enjoying a 14-7 lead, though I can't say it's a comfortable lead. They will be getting the kickoff to start the second half, so they could build some comfort into this football game if they want to. They have not trailed, but we have been tied. So let's take a look at the scoring so far in this football game. Homedale able to move out with its second possession of the contest, and they drove down the field, and they were able to get the touchdown on a 1-yard Jackson Dine run. They'd moved it with some pass plays to Binford, particularly on screens out of the backfield, and but Dines finished it off with 3:37 to go in the first quarter. That was the second Homedale possession. He takes it in from one. The kick was good. It was 7-0. But Baker came directly back downfield. They also drove downfield and settled for a 2-yard run by Malachi Meyer to tie this one up at 7. And then as play was kind of winding down late in the first half, Dines finds Lamelli on a 43-yard strike to the end zone. And that's the difference here. The Lamelli touchdown from 43 yards out. The extra point was good, and it's 14-7 in favor of the Trojans of Homedale. And as we said, they will be receiving the kickoff to start the second half.
Kind of looking at the first half, you have to look at both teams separately. Baker really seems to be beating themselves right now. They've had several fumbled snaps. I mean, I think we're at 9 now at this point that have been fumbled and have caused loss of yardage. The last 2 drives have been completely shut down by that alone. So it's really Baker in their own head right now, which is what's holding them back. Other than that, though, they have moved the ball actually decently well.
Yeah. The two killers, as you mentioned, would be the drive just prior to the Homedale long touchdown pass. They had the ball nearly midfield, and they had 2 snaps that went more than 10 yards backwards. All of a sudden, they were punting from their own 18-yard line, and they got this monster punt. But Homedale took that because they stymied it again, got back into midfield, and at midfield all of a sudden, after pounding it with Ryland Binford for several plays, they fire it up downfield to Lamelli, and they get the long strike. And Baker came back again with an opportunity. It looked like they got back into Homedale territory, maybe able to do something before the intermission. But again, a couple of bad snaps put them in a 3rd or 4th and long situation. And they nearly came up with a pass play on that last play of that first half. But Malachi Meyer unable to get away from Good. And Good stopped in at about the 15 when it could have been it was a 4th down situation, 4th at about 15, and it would have been about a 35-yard touchdown. But Good able to make it a stop.
So if you're Baker, obviously, I mean that's a really simple fix though. It's not something super complicated. You got to if I'm in the halftime, I have my center and my quarterback just taking snaps the entire half. They are just focusing on that connection. If you're Homedale, honestly, you've played pretty well. There's been a few misconnections here and there. There's been a few penalties that have kind of set you back. But for the most part, you've moved the ball well. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep running the ball. Keep that going. And then every once in a while, as we've seen, the pass can be open. So keep doing what you're doing. It's working.
Yeah, Homedale really has stopped one interception that stopped a drive that they were on and flipped the field a little bit. So yeah, you're right. It's not like things aren't, the wheels have not come off.
No.
The wheels are still there. They're just still looking for the traction that they want. And the first possession of that second half could be a big factor for the Trojans to be able to get that momentum and to get that. We saw that swing in the first game here tonight. A big swing in those few minutes before and after the first half, and again, Homedale scoring in the last 2 minutes of the first half, and now an opportunity to score again and possibly get that two-score advantage. Madison's Napa Auto Parts in Homedale has been locally owned and operated since 1977 there at Homedale. They have everything you need in stock, including auto parts, tools, and equipment, along with many other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine and farming equipment. It's all there at Napa Auto Parts, Madison's Napa Auto Parts in Homedale. Check them out. I said they've been there since 1977. I think I know most of the family over the years. Many of them have played football here for the Homedale Trojans. Mike Madison, some of the others I remember over the years. And, of course, you fans here at Homedale have a longer memory than I do. And it goes back, but we know there's a tremendous tradition in that community, and we see that in the support that's always been there for the Trojans. I mean, there's not a lot of A3 schools or 3A schools in any state in the country with a brand new artificial turf field out there that's beautiful. And I always love the setting there alongside the Snake River. It's a great place to watch football and to play football.
I was going to say, growing up, I was always playing out of Homedale because I went to Napa Christian, and the Trojans had a long-standing tradition where the Trojans versus the Trojans to start the season out would happen almost every year every year I can remember when I was playing.
Yeah,
so
at the time.
It was a beautiful setting, and now hearing they had the turf field, I go, gosh darn it, I wish they had that when I was playing.
Yeah. Well, as a center, what's it matter? You don't need any footing.
Hey.
This is another team, and what a tradition we've had. I mean, I go back to the Darrell Kellum years when he was coaching, and then, of course, all the years of the Jimmy Mack. And because I remember going to college when Jim McMillan was playing at Boise State and then coming over and coaching at Homedale for many years and all the others. And, of course, what a great group of coaches and assistant coaches that have been at Homedale, some of them many, many more years than Holtry, and Holtry's had a great program there as well. And I know Terry Moore, who's worked with the program for the last several years, used to be with Emmett. Just a tremendous bunch of folks out there, and we appreciate you. And I know your team appreciates the kind of support you give them. So kudos to all of you. We're going to take a quick break here, and then we'll be back with the Homedale receiving team out on the field, waiting for that kickoff.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're Valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valleywide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Because you already give them something money can't buy. We'll help with everything else, no matter what life holds. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
Well, welcome back. The final seconds there as the halftime ticks away and the teams return to the field. The purple-clad Bulldogs of Baker directly in front of us here, and across the field, the white-clad Trojans of Homedale with their red helmets, the HT insignia, and they're getting ready to receive here shortly. So they got their punter out there who is putting on quite a show. Well, that was a beautiful punt. Well, they have a great punter, and yet they never get an opportunity to use him.
They never punted.
Yeah, you don't have to punt very often. So, but I'll tell you, if you don't have a punter, it usually comes back and bites you somewhere, just kind of like a kicker. And always nice to have that leg. You never know when you're going to maybe have to call on it at the last minute. Teams that are dominant often don't because you're scoring at will. But this game is not over.
Not even close. It's only 7-14. It's a one-score game. Baker definitely has a way back into this. As we talked about at half, one thing they have to get down is that snap. They've got to get that connection, and you can see them on the sidelines. The center's just repping snaps right now, just trying to get back to that consistency. And there really is it. It's a memory thing. You're not actually looking ever when you're long snap, when you're shotgun snapping. It's just a memory thing that you have to kind of get down. So Baker, you got to stop beating yourself if you want to get back in this game, and it's definitely doable. To have two drives completely stalled out and ended basically because of fumbled snaps, it's just not acceptable. You got to get back into the game. You can't be being beaten before the first snap, before the exchange of the football. Yeah, you got to have an opportunity to do something with the football. And you don't even get the handoff because you're chasing it down in the backfield. So, yeah, obviously that was a big factor here for Baker. For Homedale, they actually executed really well throughout the game. They had a couple of drives that bogged down a little. Both these teams turned it over on downs 3 times in the first half. So, yep. And Homedale did throw that one interception. So.
And then the one interception that really kind of changed that momentum for a short period of time late in that first quarter. But they came back with some beautiful throws, and particularly the touchdown pass that gave them the lead back. They've ever trailed in this ball game, led it 7-0, tied at 7, and then 14-7. So Baker has shown they can kick this football too. They're punting it and kicking it. So back deep for the Trojans, of course, will be Binford. And let's see on the far side.
That's number 2.
Is it 2?
That's 2.
That is Mason Strong. So Strong back to and Strong's going to get it coming to him. He'll be taking it at about the 7 or 8 yard line and trying to find a path, and he's not going to find one. Baker doing a great job not allowing Homedale to set up any kind of a picket. He was looking to bring it to the left side or the right side for where he was running from and build a picket, but Baker did a great job coming across, and that was the running back, Jackson Logsdon, playing on the special teams that made the stop, and Homedale going to start pretty deep. It really looked like he was going to have some running room when he gathered that in at about the 5. And,
it did, but he ran, instead of running north and south, he ran east and west, and we've talked about that so many times. When you do that, you take away your own yardage, and they're starting from their own 10.
He ran about 25, 30 yards, but it was all lateral. Handoff goes inside and diving forward, wrestling for a couple of yards. Really fighting for that yardage. Is that Binford, I believe, 25?
Yes, it was.
Ryan Binford has been kind of platooning back and forth. He starts at that tailback position, but we're also seeing quite a bit tonight of number 23, Andrew Marston. Of course, Jackson Dine is the quarterback for the Trojans. Has a nice touchdown strike to Lamelli that gave him the lead. Handoff inside, breaking it to the outside, and this time bringing it to the near side and being raked out of bounds. And into the structure was Binford. He found his seam, and he had a big gainer as Rayshawn Jones chases him down. If Jones hadn't gotten to him, Binford would have been gone.
I think he would have been off to the races for sure. Jones did a great job chasing him down there, not letting him get too far ahead, but that could have been absolutely horrendously costly for this Baker defense if they had let that go much farther.
Well, it could have been costly on the other side of such a narrow sideline here, and we've already had one go into the concrete barrier. Binford could have there as well. Handoff, no, Dine's going to keep it. He just picks it up and picks up about 6-7 yards going straight ahead. And all of a sudden, that pace has picked up a little bit on this possession for the Trojans.
Yeah, we saw at the end of that first half that Baker also switched to that no-huddle offense that Homedale's been running all night long. So Homedale definitely is looking to keep the pace up, keep them going. And with having the bigger bench, that really leans into them and is helpful to them because by come the fourth quarter, Baker's going to get tired.
Yeah, if they're willing to use that bench and take advantage of that, pitch goes back to Dines, gets a yard and no more, I believe.
Yeah, he's going to get
That's
just
not
past the line
from
of
Dines to Binford, and Binford will pick up about a yard. It'll be third down and maybe 2 yards. You got to get just across the 50 or maybe just touch the chalk for the first down. So big play here for both of these teams. Homedale offense all standing and, as we said, bird watching to the sidelines to get their instructions. Inside 10 minutes, just 2 minutes into this second half. Snap to Dines, goes to Binford, full goal yardage. He's got yardage and he's going to take it to the house. No, he's going to get stopped. And again, I believe that's Jones.
Again, chasing him down.
Rashawn Jones, a freshman at 6'1", 180, great speed, and he has made some huge stops. So a 30-yard pickup on the rush by Binford. He has 50 yards in just a couple of carries here in the second half.
And that's 2 touchdowns that Jones has saved by chasing him down. That's not what you want to see, but hey, you're stopping the touchdown, so can't be that.
And I said, I was just shocked when I looked down here and looked at that roster and realized that Rashawn Jones is a freshman.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Great athleticism and huge speed. And now we're going to have a delay of game, I think, called against Homedale. They started to go into motion, didn't get the call they wanted fast enough, so instead of first and 10 at the 22, they're going to be backing it up. It'll be first and 15 at about the 27-yard line. But they are in Baker territory after a couple of big runs by Rylan Binford.
Binford really putting forward his candidacy for that player of the game so far tonight.
We will be naming that later in the ball game, and Binford would certainly, because he's probably the leading receiver as well as the leading rusher for Homedale. Jackson Dines rolls out to the left, fires it out into the flat, and it's taken there by whom else? Number 2.
Yep.
As Mason Strong with the reception. It'll be short of the first down, but it'll pick up about 8 and then bring up second down and maybe 4.
We'll call it a long 4, yeah.
So about more of like a 10-yard pickup on the pass play after the 5-yard penalty before that, but still just second down, and Dine's going to keep it, and he's trying to get around the end zone, and he's trying to get around the far end line, and he's not going to. We have a rugby scrum on the far sideline, and it looked like he wanted to reverse field and come back, but Baker had great pursuit behind him, and he couldn't do that.
Yeah, Jackson Longston did a great job of just holding on for dear life till his teammates could get there to help him wrap it up. Doing a great job there. Ended up only getting back to the line of scrimmage, basically.
Yeah, maybe a half-yard gain out of it. He actually saved by getting a little bit out of it and didn't get swallowed, but it's 3rd down and long. A long 3.5, 4 yards.
And the last thing you want to do if you're Homedale is stall out now. So you want to keep 2 men in motion.
It's okay, only one was set. Handoff goes to who else? Number 25, and he's into the end zone. That is Binford.
He made it in.
Binford, he got tattooed by
Rashawn
Johnson.
Jones hit it, gave him a good smack right there as he got into the end zone.
Jones is right on top of him just about every time he turns around. But the Trojans have taken that possession to start this second half, and with 8:09 to go, a 14-yard run by Binford, his first score of the night.
And it's going to be good for the extra point, so they go up 21-7.
8:09, just not quite 4 minutes on that opening possession, and that's what Homedale wanted to do, kind of establish a little bit of dominance here. They get the 2-touchdown lead, and now they want to see if the defense can sustain the change of momentum and kind of declare that we're in control from this point on.
Yeah, if you're Homedale, this is kind of the statement drive for you. You really want to put up a stop, get that ball back, and then drive down the field again and really put this game away. If you're Baker, you have got to put points on that board. We talked about it so many times. In high school football, you get 3 touchdowns down, it's pretty dang hard to come back from that. So, Baker, you got to get some points on the board. You got to get that drive going.
Well, Homedale has scored once in each quarter. So consistent.
Consistent.
Yeah.
Maybe not the greatest stat, but not a bad stat either.
And like I said, that's when you aren't playing dominating, you play consistent and you'll build that momentum. And when you get a break or two, things go, what a nice kick. It's going to be taken at about the 6-yard line, actually stumbled at the 6-yard line, and then picking it up and breaking free.
It's Jones.
It is Jones. That freshman has great speed. He is going to be somebody to watch for the next 4 years here at this facility, because Rashawn Jones is a special athlete. He's a freshman, but he's already 6'1", 180.
Gosh, he's going to be a big kid.
He's going to, and if he
That's
keeps that
terrifying.
kind of speed, he's going to be a name we're going to want to watch for a while. I mean, this is Baker country, so I guess you'd say it's Ducks and Beaver country, but I'm not so sure. They're close enough. We'll have to keep an eye on the kid. As a freshman, we've seen some pretty remarkable plays so far. Passing downfield and overthrown and nearly picked off, should have been picked off, right into the breadbasket of Jackson Dines was the pass intended out into the flat.
Jackson Dines almost with the interception on the far side there.
Yeah, Hobson really put a rope out there, but he overthrew his intended receiver, and Dines playing center field along that sideline had an opportunity. That would have been disastrous for Baker to turn it over, because Dines would have had it at midfield.
Pass intended for Malachi Meyer there.
Meyer and Jones have both impressed me tonight with their speed as receivers, and the handoff in the backfield is going to be nothing for Jackson Logsdon.
I think he's actually going to lose 2 yards on the play, 3 yards on the play.
That defensive line for Homedale just simply blew the Baker line off the line of scrimmage and met the running back 3 yards deep. It'll be 3rd down and 13 at about the 28-yard line for the Baker Bulldogs, their own 28. So trying to get something out of this drive, and this is going to be a big play, because they don't want to go 3 and out after giving up the score that puts them 2 scores down. Jackson rolls out to the flats. Hobson rolling out to the near side, and he cannot find his intended receiver. He was looking to Myers, but could not get it to him. It'll be 4th down and 13, and Baker will be punting. We've seen some pretty good punts off the foot of Logsdon so far tonight. Going back deep for the Trojans will be Dines, and I believe Luke Henry. Is that Luke Henry?
A beautiful 40-yard punt. It's going to be fair caught, actually, at the 38-yard line.
Mason Strong saw that. I think he was hoping that it wouldn't go quite as deep and he'd be able to run with it, but when he saw that it was going to kind of come shoulder high and even he had to reach back to get it, wise call to call it as a fair catch.
Yeah, he had 3 defenders coming right toward him, so good call there.
Yeah, you want to be, if you're in that position, you want that ball to be a little short of you so you can run to the ball.
Right.
And having to reach behind you is a dangerous thing. But the Trojans still with a very good field position. They'll start at the 39-yard line. And as we said, this is that opportunity to possibly take control of this football game. Dines back to pass, getting pressure.
And
he's going to go down. Well, he does go down, but he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Jackson Dine, I thought he was going to go down 5 yards deep, and he just kept squirting away. And they're going to give him a yard gain, in fact.
Ryan Brown with the stop there. Hit him all the way 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage and held on, but as you said, he was able to drive forward for that 2-yard gain.
His eyes were downfield, a long ways downfield, and he was getting an awful lot of pressure to have to wait that long. Handoff will go to who? Yeah, right ahead, a couple of yards this time for Binford, I believe. Yes, Binford still with the carry. I thought maybe after his last exploits on the last drive, they might have gone to Marston, but they're still going with Binford in the backfield. They kind of took alternating possessions, it seemed like, first half, but
I think Binford is the starter, and then Marsden comes in as the third down back.
Yeah, and it gets it. Binford again now pops it out to the left side, first down yardage. He gets right to the 50-yard line. I think he's going to be far enough to get the first down.
It looks like they're going to mark him about a yard short, if I had to guess.
And he only needed to make the 49 and a half, I think.
They're going to give it to him. That's a first down.
Let's see where the official, that's touch and paint. It's a first down at the 50-yard line for the Homedale Trojans. You can't go by the early indications from the chain gang.
I wasn't going by that. I was going by the official.
Yeah, and the official on the near side, I thought it was going to be short, but the one in the middle of the field really stepped out there, and he's the man in the white hat that has all the power. 1st and 10, Homedale at midfield. Dine's going to keep it. I'm not sure if he wanted to keep it or not. At first it looked like he wanted the handoff, but it wasn't picked up, and Logston's going to bring him down. He will get back to the line of scrimmage. Again, that's the thing about Dines is he's been getting met in the backfield 3-4 yards back, and yet he still gets back to the line of scrimmage at least, which has been just the opposite situation for Baker. When the quarterback gets in trouble, he's been dropped, usually with a bad snap or something. He's had to be chasing the ball. Handoff goes to who else? Binford on the outside. He breaks the tackle, and now across the 45. He'll be short of first down yardage. He'll get to the 43. It'll be 3rd down and 3 coming up for Homedale. 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. The Trojans with a 21-7 lead on the road at Baker. Try to move to 3-0 and protect that number 1 ranking in the 3A ranks in the state of Idaho. Baker with a 1-0 record. Their season starts a little later here in Oregon. And they're trying to keep it that way, but the handoff's going to go to the second man through, and that is Marston this time.
We do have laundry on the field, though, and it's in the backfield.
And that's usually a bad indication. Marston picks up about 12 all the way down to about the 32-yard line. But where the laundry is not normally a good sign for the offense.
No, I think they're going to call the backside tackle on a holding call.
So instead of 1st and 10 at the 32, we're going to be looking at 3rd down and about 13 from back inside Homedale territory.
And they're going to go from the spot of the penalty, so it actually will be a 3rd down and 16 about.
Right, yeah, they move it from there. It was the hold was behind the line of scrimmage, so it actually becomes a bigger foul. Those
we'll
are the
3rd
tough
down and 15.
Yeah, those are the tough ones. Yeah, we'll call it. Yeah, so you got to get to the 40-yard line, and it looks like they got the pigskin setting actually out across the 5, so it's a slim 15.
Yeah.
Homedale over looking at the coach standing. It always looks like it.
It really does look like bird watching. They're all just kind of staring.
You know, and if I ever got caught like that working on the farm, looking over across the field, I would have been in trouble. You know, but these guys are getting their instructions and they're going with what they want. Dines in the middle and is nearly picked. Who's that?
Jones
It
almost
is, of course, Rashawn Jones, the freshman. Nearly has his second pick of the game.
And as sad it is he drops it, it does bring up fourth down and 14. So it is still going to be Baker ball, but you know, for the stats, you really just want to take that one away.
Well, and that's because we're assuming Homedale's going to punt it away. But I mean, he had it, and with his speed,
he could have made something happen.
He could have made something happen out of that one, and he just couldn't get the handle on it. And Homedale will punt it away. Good gets his foot into that one.
Squib kick.
But sometimes you get the roll that you want, and that's what Homedale got. It'll get down to about the 20-yard line, I think, maybe the 21. And so they certainly better than where an interception, even if you stopped him there, would have been. So Baker with long distance, but Homedale unable, after a couple of big plays, to really put the hammer down in this football game.
And that's exactly what Baker needed. They needed a stop there. That was a great defensive hold for Baker. Now, and as they come back onto the field for the offense, they really have got to get something going here.
Yeah, even if they don't necessarily score on this possession, they've got to move the field.
You got to see some light of some type.
Yeah, they got to build. They got to eat up some turf and turn the field so they can pin Homedale deep and then maybe take advantage of a turnover. When you're down 2 touchdowns, you need the breaks. And Homedale this time jumped a little too much. I think crossing the line was Ashton Zabriskie, 19.
No, that was 22.
It was 22 that got across on the far end.
That's
down there.
Be
Dorpacker. Dorpacker with the infraction. That gives it should be a free 5, but it looks like they only moved it 4. I mean.
Well, a short 5, we'll call it.
Maybe it's just, I need to get bifocals readjusted between one side and the other here. It
You
just
are
doesn't look quite
old.
balanced. Little run there by Baker will pick up a couple of yards, but not too much. Getting cut down on the effort was Caden Garvin, junior running back for the Bulldogs. So cut about 2 maybe, so we'll call it second and long 4. Less than 4 minutes remaining here in the third quarter of play. Homedale with a 21-7 lead on the Baker Bulldogs.
Jones lined up on the far side out and then 2 to our close side. Jones goes in motion to the close side, making it trips. He gets the handoff actually as a pitch, and he's going to get wrapped up way in the backfield.
Great
by number 1, Sigmund Good.
Good just stayed his position on the outside on the opposite side of the field, so the end around to Jones blows up. Did not work for Baker. He's got great speed, but Homedale stretched it out. It's a loss all the way back inside the 20-yard line. It'll be third down at about 11 for the Bulldogs. They've got to get it across the 31 to get a first down here. 3 minutes remaining, third quarter. Homedale's defense, which has been strong all season, is moving here. They get a pass across the middle, and they go to number 8.
That is Jones
again. And Jones takes down the official, but is brought down. It's about a 7-8 yard pickup. But it'll be fourth down and 3 coming up for the Bulldogs, still deep in their own territory at about the 28.
With 2.5 minutes left, you have to question whether this is 4-down territory. It looks like they are going to send the punting unit out.
It's 2.5 in the third quarter.
You're right.
And if it was in the game, it's a different story here. You maybe still roll the dice to see what you can do. And we have a timeout being called by Baker, and they're going to reconsider. Back to do the punting is Logsdon. He's had some couple good punts, but are you going to go for it here?
As I was saying, as you said, it's 2 minutes and 17 seconds left in the third quarter. But as we've discussed before, they're down by 2 touchdowns, and they're pretty deep in their own territory. You punt the ball, especially if you don't get a long punt. Homedale goes up by 3. I don't know if you're catching this team. Homedale has been so solid all night, and Baker just keeps beating themselves.
But if you don't make the first down here, you give Homedale
That's the gamble.
a very short
That's
field
the
to
gamble.
make that three possession game. Yeah, that's
Do you have the faith in your offense, or do you have the faith in your defense is the question.
well, right now, I have to honestly say the Homedale defense the second half has really stepped up. And
They've been pretty lights out.
They're lights out. They're stretching the field, and they're counting on right now, at least, that there's going to be a punt coming off the foot of Jackson Logsdon.
Got Mason Strong all the way back.
Strong is and only one back this time. And he was back with
It was 25. It was
yeah,
Binford. Yeah.
Binford was back there, and then Lamelli was back there for the kickoff of the second half along with him.
Yeah.
But I don't see.
They're going for it.
Baker is going for it. They have opted. They do not have. Maybe they're going to try to get him to call offsides, running around to the outside, trying to find space, throwing a pass in the middle that's knocked away, and the gamble fails for the Bulldogs as Hobson's pass is knocked down on the far sideline. I think if it had been completed, it might have even still been short of the first down. Hobson got chased out of the pocket, and Homedale will take over on the 27-yard line of the Baker Bulldogs.
And as I said before, I know it didn't work out, but I don't hate the call there. I think it's an aggressive call, and in a game like this where it's been a slugfest, you have to take that risk.
And Homedale a little bit surprised, I think, but they certainly adjusted to it once they. Well, it wasn't like it. They ran a fake out of the punt. They came out with no punter on the field. Handoff to Binford. Binford will take it straight into the grasp of Rashawn Jones. Jones will bring him down, but not until he's picked up about 9 yards to the 19-yard line. Robin Binford has been a truck here in the second half.
I mean, he really has been all game, and they're going to go to him again. He takes the handoff on the outside of the tackle. He's going to break one tackle, and who is he going to run to again?
Again,
Jones.
The freshman Jones is there. I tell you, we don't get a chance to see Baker football very often, but I think I have to make a trip over here in the next couple of years to watch this young man. Just a freshman. Handoff again, straight ahead, and in for the touchdown from about 6 yards out. Is that Binford?
That is Binford again.
He finishes up. That was a Binford drive all the way with 1:30 to go here in the third quarter. Binford from 6 yards out.
Yeah, you got to find an answer. Obviously, we've talked about Jones stopping him several times now, but that's not what you want to hear, that your running back is being tackled by the free safety. So as good as Jones has been, if you're Baker, you've got to find an answer.
And the extra point is up and good again. It's 28-7. And we said the gamble was there. 3 plays, 3 runs by Binford, and it goes into the end zone for the Trojans. And they have taken a sizable lead now, 28-7, with 1:30 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Matteson's Napa Auto Parts in Homedale has been locally owned and operated since 1977. They have everything you need in stock, and that's rather rare these days to actually have it in stock, not on back order.
Oh, especially with car parts. I have an F-150 and I can't even get parts.
Well, you better go out to Madison's instead of calling on somebody in the big box stores. And Madison's have it all, including auto parts, tools, and equipment, along with many of the other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine, and farm equipment. Madison's Napa Auto Parts in Homedale, proud supporters of the Trojan Athletic Program. And they're proud of their Trojans turning it on here in the second half, looking to pick up their third victory in as many outings in the young 2022 football season here. Getting ready to kick it off. Getting the foot on this one. Nice deep kick. And it's going to be fumbled back to the 5. It'll be picked up by Jones, and he'll be brought down back there by, is that number 3?
Number 6.
Number 6 making the defensive stop on Jones. That is Rafael Guenca. I thought it might have been Danny Lamelli, but it was a great stop, a great kickoff, a deep kick. Pretty good foot on that Homedale kicker here tonight. perfect at extra point attempts, and we were watching him in the warm-ups before the game kicked off, and he kept warming up, kicking from the 50-yard line.
Well, and now this is the third drive that Baker has started from inside their own 20.
Yeah, and this one is at the 10.
Yeah.
So, their field position in this whole second half has not been good. And give credit to the Homedale defense and the Homedale kicking and special teams units to help flip this field. And that's really how they've been able to take dominance. Even though they led this at halftime 14-7, they've taken dominance by in the backfield. And I thought for a minute we were going to have a fumble, but they held on to the football. And that was Jones again out of the backfield trying to run with it, but he is just simply powered home by Omar Rios. Loss of 5, back to the 5.
Yeah, back to the 5, and now you almost have to be concerned with how this Trojan defensive line has been penetrating. You have to be concerned about safeties at this point, which is not something you want to hear when you're down 28-7.
Well, and with now the second half, they haven't had an issue with their snap, but a bad snap here would
it'd be the end of the game, I think.
This would be the last snap possibly of the third quarter. Hobson is chased around in the end zone, fires it out. It'll be incomplete, and that will stop the clock. So it will not be the last play of the third quarter. He was looking in the flat.
Oh, and we have some laundry thrown late.
In the backfield?
In the backfield. I think we're going to have some
personal foul.
There was some chipping going back and forth between the defensive and offensive linemen.
And one of the Homedale Trojans is going off the field on the other side, and it looks like he may have been sent off of the field.
He might have been ejected from the game, I'm not going to lie. What happened was you have
deep in the end zone.
Number 50 from Baker, Isaac Cleveland, got flat-backed after the play had ended by 2 Homedale players, and I think it's going to be a 15-yard personal foul, and I think he's ejected from the game.
Yeah, I'm not, and I didn't get the number as he moved off on the far side.
I believe it's number 52.
And it's very possible that he was just simply called out of the game by his coaches.
That Caden Lane
possibly
committing the foul, and that's going to give new life to this Baker
5'10",
offense.
220-pound sophomore, but can't be absolutely positive on that identification, fans. Defense still standing stout after that penalty gave Baker new life because it was going to be 4th down and 15 at the 5. They have it 2nd and 9 at about the 21-yard line.
And I think that's going to be the end of the quarter. It doesn't look like Baker's going to run up to the clock, so that will be the end of the third quarter with Homedale leading 28-7 over the Baker Bulldogs.
You know, there's no replacement for quality and experience, and that's what Vance Dairy Construction brings to every project it sets out on. Just like the Homedale Trojans, Vance Dairy Construction works hard to get it right the first time, and that's why they have the reputation that makes them the first call when dairy industry is looking to build or repair. Call the team at Vance Dairy Construction to schedule your winter maintenance and renovation projects now. Do it now before that line that's getting in line for that schedule gets too long. 208-337-3191. Vance Dairy Construction, helping to build Idaho's dairy industry. Everybody at Vance Dairy Construction wishing the Homedale Trojans good luck tonight, and they've made their own luck, particularly here in the second half with a dominating defense and a running game from Ryland Binford that has given them a 3-touchdown lead here, 28-7, as we get ready for fourth quarter action from Baker Bulldog Memorial Stadium in Baker City, Oregon.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
Bulldogs still going to have the football, but they got a long ways to go. Second down and a long 9. They're going to go to the pass play, and it's going to be picked off. Taking it at the 30-yard line to the 20, down inside. Does he make it inside the goal line? We're going to have a flag called, possibly a late hit after the interception, I believe, by number 13 for Homedale. I don't have a 13. Could it be could have been Dines, 15.
I think it's going to be 15. Yeah, it's 15.
Dines gets the interception and then runs it back all the way to the 1-yard line, it looks like, as we're going to mark it. And the penalty's not going to be much because it'll be a half yard at most, half the distance. But, boy, all of a sudden that pass play and the momentum in this ball game has really flipped.
Nah, it's pretty dire here for Baker all of a sudden.
Well, and they did it because Homedale was very methodical in building that momentum late in the first half and then dominating the running game in the third quarter. And now you get a turnover when you've got to gamble. I mean, you can't blame Baker. They were deep. They needed to look for some kind of a break.
You had to look downfield if you're Baker there. So Homedale with the interception, now looking to push it in and secure that 4-touchdown lead. And there it is.
And who was it that took it in? Will that be Binford's?
It's Binford as always.
So Binford with 3 rushing touchdowns here in the second half. This one a big one, 1-yarder. 11:45. You know, and actually all of his touchdowns are going to look not that impressive because they were short, but they were all set up for the most part, with the exception of that one, by long runs that he'd done through the middle.
The PAT is up and good.
Perfect at the PATs.
To extend the lead to 35-7. Yeah, and Binford really making a name for himself and really putting his candidacy out for that player of the game. As you said, nothing flashy, just been consistent and pushing forward, playing good physical football and running the ball well. Yeah. So I would love to see the yardage on this game for him.
Yeah, we don't have official stats. I have him unofficially with about 5 or 6 receptions for probably 45 or 50 yards. But his rushing attack, he's well over 100. He may be pushing 200.
I think he's pushing 200 so far. And Baker just hasn't had an answer for him. So far, the only one that can tackle him is their free safety, Jones.
Yeah, the freshman Jones is, and Binford has made his impression. He's put his helmet right into Jones' chest a number of times, and that freshman Jones has just stood there and taken it. But that's been an interesting matchup, that's for sure.
The senior versus the freshman.
Yes,
crazy. As you were saying, I cannot wait to see where Jones. I mean, not to lessen what Binford's done, because he's played fantastically, but Jones has just been that brick wall that's stopped him from, 3 or 4 touchdowns now.
Yeah, he's shown great speed and great length and just a freshman and a great sense for the football because he's there. Here comes the kickoff again for Homedale.
Good line drive kick. It's going to be returned at the 5 by number 15. And taken out to about the 20, we'll call it the 23, 24, 25-yard line, actually.
Noah Erickson is that kicker. He's a 5'10", 155-pound junior, Noah Erickson, and he has got a foot that's going to be interesting to watch this season for the Trojans, because somewhere down the road they may not be dominating somebody. They may have to run into a couple of teams that are going to have a real dogfight, and that leg
could save you in some of those close games.
And especially not giving up, missing those extra points that are points taken off the board. Baker going to hold it steady. They just give it a handoff inside, and you almost get the feeling they just want to run the ball and run the clock at this point. They don't want to give the ball back to the Homedale defense. They don't want to really take a gamble.
The hurry-up offense.
They're gonna push. Let's see what we do here. Snap, goes back. Paulson fires it out. Boy, nearly caught and then nearly picked at the same time.
By Dylan Fine.
Fine made they both kind of got to the football at the same time, and it goes incomplete. But it'll be 3rd down and 10 coming up. 3rd down and 11 actually coming up for Baker. So hurry up. If you don't get a first down, it makes it a very short possession. Paulson back to pass. No, he's going to be chased out of the pocket, fires it out into the flat, and he will be right through the hands of his intended receiver. He was looking to get it to number 32. That is Tate Powell, and it will be incomplete. So the possession has lasted 40 seconds, 3 plays, and they got to punt it away from deep in their own territory.
And it will be a punt, the punt team coming out.
Yeah, Baker line of scrimmage is just outside their own 20-yard line, so they're not going to take it.
Oh, well, a shift.
Let's see what they do. They shifted the line, but I don't think it's going to change the punt.
Still going to be a punt.
Nice punt, going deep, going to be taken back at the 40-yard line by number 2 for the Huskies. That is Mason Strong, and good coverage by Baker.
And he'll take it back to about the 49-yard line, so not quite into Baker territory, but pretty dang close.
7-8 yard return. Of course, a lot of punt returns aren't spectacular. That was a nice high punt, so actually a decent return for the kind of coverage that was coming downfield. So Homedale will start in Baker territory again. This time, not at the 2 or the 1 like they did last time, but at the 48.
I was going to say, we've had solid special teams so far in this game. Nothing's flashy, but decent kicks, or really solid kicks, I should say. And good change of field position. So this is the first time I think Homedale's really started in that Baker territory. Yeah. Well, minus the interception.
Yeah. The snap to Dines was a little high, but he's able to get a control on it and hands it off. And diving forward, I believe.
That was number 24.
I believe. Yeah, that'd be Cade Hall, freshman. 6 foot, 175-pound freshman for the.
That's a big freshman.
That is a big freshman.
Broken play.
And Dines will make something out of it. Almost a first down. He'll get to the 40. He'll be about a yard short.
Yeah, there's the freshman kind of not knowing how the varsity offense works.
I'm not sure if it's on the wrong side of Dines. But Dines says, well, I'm not going to give it to you. I'm going to take care of this myself. I think it was too close for the handoff in the timing of that. But he'll hand it to him this time, and he'll get the first down. Then he'll pick up 5 yards again, down to the 35-yard line.
And that will be a first down.
That is Cade Hall. Now, Cade's going to go out of the ball game, and into the game, replacing him is Alex Sotelo, another sophomore. So a lot of youth right now for Homedale, though they'll keep that veteran quarterback teaching.
Yeah, and when you're up 35-7, I think it's a good time to get those younger, fresher feet some reps. So I don't hate the play here.
Sotelo with a 3-4 yard dive forward. They'll give him about 2, it looks like. They're only going to mark him to about the 33. So 2nd down and 8 coming up. Let's see what other changes out there. Some other ball players. Auckland Carson, tight end for the Trojans, still out there. Also on the line, we got 27. That's Jeffrey Lane. So a lot of the line looks like it's still pretty much the starting crew.
Well, except for number 52, did get pulled out of the game. His helmet's been taken away from him, so he has been ejected from the game.
On the far side.
Yeah, and that's number 52, Caden Lane.
Lamelli out on the slot, but they're not going to go to a pass game. They're going to just keep handing it off inside. Another pickup of a couple of yards, and that's it. It'll bring up 3rd down and 6. Yeah, I would be surprised to see if Homedale attempts a pass at this point. They got a 28-point lead, 8:40 to go. They want to just keep grinding, keep executing, use up the clock. They'd probably like to get 40 points again. They've been in that 40 range all season, but.
And it looks like it's going to be a timeout for the officials. I think it's an equipment malfunction, maybe?
And it had to bring somebody in, so who knows? They're looking for something on the sideline here. 22 came out. Dines in traffic, fires it across. He's going to get the first down. Coming back to get that pass was 11? Yeah, Auckland Carson, the tight end.
A lot of new faces in here right now. So
Carson grabs that for the first down. He'll be down to about the 24-yard line.
We do see Caden Hall coming back in at the back position, so the freshman getting a few more reps.
He's a big kid, too.
Handoff does go to him, and he's going to make himself a good 7-yard run off of the right side tackle.
Obviously, they got a great back in Rip Binford right now, but I'm looking, this is a 6 foot, 175-pound freshman.
As a running back.
Yeah, Homedale has a pretty good running back tradition. I mean, we're talking, we can go back to the Moffats, to the, I can remember a lot of them over the years.
Handoff will go
and
to
a
Hall
handoff
again,
and he just dives straight forward. He's actually looks a little long for a running back in the high school ranks. He's got long legs.
They're going to mark him, looks like just short of that first down, so it's going to be about a 3-yard pickup.
But he's picked up 6 on the last 2 carries.
Oh, no, they're going to give him the first down.
Okay, that's what the stick marker hadn't moved yet to go catch up with the rest. So, yeah, 2 carries, 11 yards, and a first down.
Number 30 back in for Homedale in the back. That's, once again, Alex Sotelo.
Sotelo, yes, and he's going to get the handoff. He'll bounce out to the outside, and he's going to take it into the end zone, I believe. Nope, he's going to be just short. So Sotelo with about a 15-yard scamper, make it about 18 yards, and they're going to set it up at 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. So Homedale, like I said, they're
knocking on the door again.
Their scoring statistics are not going to look impressive because they got all these 1, 2, 3, 5-yard runs, but they're looking impressive. Handoff, and Sotelo's not going to get in.
Yeah, going to get back to the line of scrimmage.
He tried to hop outside, and then he saw a little hole and tried to poke back toward the line, and he got trapped pretty good. And he's going to go out and coming back into the ballgame as the freshman Hall. Hall's a little more momentum, a lot bigger. And let's see, he's at the deep back, gets the handoff, and
they're going to stop him again at the 1-yard line. That's 2 consecutive plays where they've gotten stopped, or 3.
Yeah, it is
right.
3. It'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, the far number is saying 3, but it is definitely 4th down. No, it's 3rd down.
Well, we had 2 Sotelo runs.
Sotelo ran from the 15.
It got the first down, and then he had one and was stopped. Okay. So it is 3rd down. Handoff, and in for the touchdown, I believe, is Hall.
That is Hall for the touchdown. So the freshman putting on some points here at the end of the game.
So Cade Hall with a 1-yard run.
Which you always love to see.
With 5:39 to go. And the Trojans nearly to their scoring average for the season now. They had 44 in their opener and 49 against Gooding. They've got 41 up there right now. And it looks like they got somebody else going to do the kicking.
Yeah, number 60. That looks like that's going to be Diego Cortez, another sophomore.
So Noah Erickson has been the golden foot all night. And Cortez looks like he's high enough, but he's going to be off to the right. Kind of a pop-up.
You can afford to miss one when you're up 41-7.
Okay, so 5:39 remaining here in the football game. Homedale in control here in the second half, 41-7. If you joined us late, Homedale scored early, but Baker countered, and we had a 7-7 ball game going to the second quarter of play. And Homedale scored early in the quarter, but where they started to take control of the ball game is they got a late score just before halftime to go up 21-7, and then they scored on the opening possession of the second half, and it's been downhill.
It's been all Homedale since then.
And really, in a lot of ways, it mirrors the first game we did here tonight, which was the same way. A lot more offense for the losing team in Lake City, but and actually more offense for the winning team as well. But because it was just a different type of ball game. But it was the same kind of momentum change that took place over that halftime stretch. They used to call it the 4 and 4. That last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half can be such a momentum changer, particularly if you can score late and get that first possession to start the second half. Homedale going to kick it off again, and this one.
Deep kick down to the 5-yard line. It will be returned by Jones.
And that was 17 again with that kick. Noah has got quite a foot, and Jones has to go to the far sideline just to get it back to the 20. That tells you how deep that kickoff was, and he doesn't just drive it deep, but he gets it up and high. And
it's beautiful kicking, really.
It is.
That's something I would expect out of a college kicker rather than a high school kicker. So,
yeah, Noah Erickson has a nice-looking foot, and he punts, he kicks, plays a little wide receiver, got good size. Baker with the football, down 41-7. With 5:31 to go here in the ball game. And their possessions here in the second half have just not netted much of anything. Offense, a couple of turnovers. They're looking downfield. They'll fire it on the crossing pattern.
That will be Jones with the reception. No,
it'll be Malachi Meyer. Those are the two receivers that have just been about everything.
It's been either Malachi or Jones on almost every reception.
And Meyer gets the first down as he, on the crossing pattern, gets it all the way. Well, I'm not so sure. No, he didn't get the first down. First down yardage would have had to been across the 30, and they're marking it at about the 27. So, but you also have a flag, and apparently it's against Baker because the conversation going on between the official is with the team captain from Homedale. That usually
that's
going to
wipe out that reception, unfortunately.
So
not
really
sure
nice
what
reception.
the call was there. I mean, it was a pass.
Well, but the flag was on the far side of the field behind the line of scrimmage.
So holding? There it is, holding Bulldogs.
Offensive holding. And that's the part, is that pressure from the Homedale defense is pushing back the offensive line, and then the offensive line's getting called for the hold. So they not only have lost 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, they lose another 10 on the penalty. And that's what's really been hard for them here this second half. That Homedale defense has just really put the pressure on. Pass not near much of anybody on the far side, so it'll be second down, and we're talking about 22, 23 yards. They've got to get it to the 30, and it looks like they're about the 8 or the 9.
Once again, you got to credit that Homedale kicker for continually putting Baker back within their own 20. This is the 4th drive that they've started within the 20 this game.
Yeah, and most of them here in the second half. They have really been shoved back in there.
Airing it way out.
He had a receiver out there, but let him just a little bit too much. Good defense, trying to chase.
It's Rafael
Sotelo with the. Okay, we're not quite sure on this one. Number 6, Rafael Cuenca.
Your guess is as good as mine.
I know.
This is what happens when you get all the freshmen and sophomores put in at the end of the game when you haven't announced them all game.
This is what happens when you take French in high school instead of Spanish.
Same.
Yeah.
There it is. But
of course, that was so long ago, I wouldn't remember any of that either. So don't even remember breakfast at this point. So 5:09 to go in this ball game. A 41-7 Homedale advantage.
And Jones is way off sides. There was a very big misconnect. He thought the ball had been snapped. He's 12 yards downfield when he finally realizes he's off sides. So that's going to knock it back all the way down.
How come I got so much open running space?
That's going to take the ball back all the way back to the 5-yard line for Baker. So you have a 3rd and 25.
But, give credit, Dylan Fine stayed with him.
He did.
He did. He came off the line, and he was 10 yards down the field defending, even though that snap had never taken place. So we got a long distance here. Pass over the middle, nearly picked off. Getting a hand on it and breaking it up, number 63, Noah Bowen. Bowen, he would like to look back at that one and say, I should have had that one. I could have been a running back. It was right there on his fingertips, but a little behind him.
And 4th down and 25, they're going to go ahead and punt it.
Just to give some space. I mean,
you
can't give the ball there.
You can't go for it at this point, I feel like. So
no.
Beautiful driving punt.
Great punt, and from his own 6-yard line to the 50, so 44-yard punt. Didn't get as much roll as it could have had. Homedale had no one back for it.
No, and to be fair, he was standing on the back of his own end zone line. So
that's a tough
that's
play.
a 60-yard punt if you count the behind the line of scrimmage. So
yeah, from the line of scrimmage, he didn't have his full 15 yards that you normally figure out. It was short. So, but it was a beautiful punt out of there. It's one of those, though, it was low enough that if there had been somebody back that could have been there to get it, it could have been a very returnable. But the Trojans will start this possession at the 50-yard line with 4:53 to go. Let's see what changes are coming.
And it looks like we have Dylan Fine in at quarterback now.
Yeah, the junior is the backup quarterback, so Fine will be the quarterback. Looks like in the backfield with him we'll have Keaton Sorensen.
No, that's number 30. That's going to be
up
front,
in front of him. And with the carry with Sotelo, Alex Sotelo, the sophomore running back, 5'5", 135, kind of a skitterbug.
He's a little guy, but he's quick.
Yeah, jukes his way for about 4 yards. 4:37 to go. Now it's a matter of can Baker just simply be enough of an opposition here for the last 4:30 not to let another score get on the board, or will Homedale, get back to their average?
Well, and we talked about this earlier. Homedale now, fourth quarter sweeping way into their bench. Baker's tired at this point, and they just don't have the players to trade out.
Yeah, not a lot of extra down here.
They're going to run the clock down as low as they can before they snap the ball.
Handoff goes to Sotelo. He'll get a couple of yards down to the 45-yard line. So 3rd down and 5 coming up for the Trojans. Let's see. Back into the ball game comes Cade Hall.
Hall, the true freshman, acting as their 3rd down back now, and he is really that 3rd down back body. He's big. I mean, he's taller than the quarterback is right now,
and the quarterback is not a small. He's 6'1". Fine at the junior. So Homedale's got some good size coming up in their youth program here. That's the key. They have a program. It's consistent tradition. It's there forever. In motion to the near side moves Nolasco Contreras.
And they are going to call a delay of game on that now. And you can almost expect it because you don't have a play clock to run to, and they're trying to run out the clock. So that's one of those things where as a quarterback at this level, you're kind of guessing when the play clock comes out.
Yeah, and that is very difficult. You're right, because you're running the clock down, but then when you put someone into motion, that just expends it even further and makes it more difficult. We're down to 3:19 to go. Of course, the clock stopped because of the penalty, and now we have 3rd down at a good, solid 9.5 yards to go for the Trojans. 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen, to the left side of the quarterback. We're not going to see that. The handoff goes to Hall. He brings it around to the left side, tries to break a tackle. He's going to slide out of bounds, short of 1st down yardage, and we've got all kinds of laundry being washed out at the 50-yard line.
It's going to be a holding call on Homedale.
Well, this is one way you keep running the clock and the possession by penalties and moving it back and giving yourself longer distance. And I always say this is where the offensive line can become the friend of the running back, because you get the penalty and then you create more stats for them, more space to run.
Dell, once again, always thinking about the stats here, can never get too much of those.
No, and so, a short field, you don't get any stats out of it. You back it up a few 20, 30, 40 yards, you get more stats out of it. Of course, net offense is different. Oh, that'll be a 10-yard back off. So now all of a sudden we're at 3rd down and it was in front of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
so
we'll call it a long 8.
Yeah, so 3rd and 18 coming up. Ball at the Homedale 42-yard line. They have to get it to the 40-yard line.
Now we have Hall going back out for Homedale, trading back in.
And Sotelo coming back in.
Got to be careful here because the play clock has been running. So
yeah, we're down to 2:46 on the game clock. And that's all they're running, and I'm sure they'll punt it away on fourth.
And
we have another
delay of game.
Another delay. So they're doing everything they can to run the clock out.
That's not exactly how you want to run the clock out.
No,
but bringing up a 3rd and
22?
No, 22.
Yeah, about 22 there. 22, 23 yards.
It will be a pass.
Pass fires out to the near side to Sotelo, breaks traffic. He's going to get good yardage, picks up about 15 yards, back into Baker territory. So Homedale now be looking at 4th down at about 8 from the Baker 48. Do you punt it?
You have to. You're not in field goal position.
Well, you're not thinking in those terms where you're thinking of running the clock, and you're going, okay.
You punt the ball. You punt the ball. I mean, well,
I don't
think they are. Wow. Okay.
I think on 4th and 9, they're going to go and try to run some more clock, get another first down, and take a couple of the knees. Quarterback rolls out, fires into the flat, and he'll bounce that pass. And Baker will get the football at their own 49-yard line with 1:47 to go. So Homedale really trying to play position so they could run out the clock, take a couple of the knees, and instead they give the ball back. Now the defense with an opportunity to, can they keep the second half shutout?
That's ideal. That's what you're going for here. I mean,
remember this game was tied at 7-7.
It was. Homedale's defense has been absolutely lights out since that first score. They have not let anything happen. And remember, Baker was up 7-0. Homedale
was, but they did tie it. And so they've never trailed. And a little skip pass to the outside and taking off with the run for 30 yards. All the way down to the 30-yard line is number 20?
Number 2, Caden
Garvin. Caden Garvin. Okay, so Garvin, one of their starting backs there, and that's the first real run he's been able to break off. And he goes from the 49 all the way to the, looks like right the 30.
Yeah, that's going to be a 22-yard run.
Big run for Garvin. Got around that end. That's one thing Homedale's done a really good job of not really letting Baker get outside, even with that speedster freshman Jones. He's not been able to string it out and do something with it. Back to pass is Paulson. He's going to fire to Jones, and we're going to have
that's going to be pass interference.
Interference, that's exactly right, and that was a good call. It was about the only defense you could play on, but Jones was in great position, and the ball was right there. So, if he hadn't interfered, it would have probably been a touchdown.
Yeah, and you have number 9, Luke Henry, in there at only 5'9", matching up against Jones at 6'2". Not a great matchup there.
And about 30, 40-pound difference there, too. And so
it's one of those cases where it's better to take the penalty than take the points. So
yeah, that's exactly the point. And then we'll walk it down to the 15-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10. With 1:32 to go, Baker trying to get back on the board here. They had one of the first quarter. They like to finish this ball game with a score themselves. Just to put a little nice quick slap goes into the hands of Meyer. Malachi Meyer coming across, going to get down inside the 10. In fact, he may be inside. No, that's about it. It'll be about we'll give him the 8-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down at about 3.5 to go for the Bulldogs, 1:27. And Meyer was pushed out of bounds on the near sideline, so the clock stopped. So the Bulldogs doing a good job of using the clock and taking what they can get here. Handoff will go right up the middle, and coming straight ahead was Caden Garvin, and he's going to be picked up and dropped. He actually picks up a yard on that, but it looked like he might have had first down yardage until the defensive stop was made.
And I think it's number 20, 40, 30. I'm not getting – it looks like it'd be Peyton Fine, the backup quarterback.
That's number –
or 20. I don't know. It looks like it's number 30, but there's no number 30 on this roster.
Well, 30 is Sotelo, but that's the little running back, so that doesn't make sense. Then I don't think he's made that stop, but Anyway, outside, and there's Jones, and he's going to take it to the end zone. Rashawn Jones, great speed, moves outside, and the Bulldogs score with 37 seconds to go.
And with 37 seconds left to go, I feel like that's a nice bookend for this game. You know, they started with a touchdown in the first quarter, and they're going to end it with a touchdown in the fourth quarter.
Rashawn Jones, the freshman, with an 8-yard touchdown run. And the extra point coming up, attempt coming from Houston Spike. Lefty, kick is up, and boy, it was low, but it was through like a rocket, and it's good. So 41-14 the score now.
Jones the holder, by the way, as well.
Well, I think I'd get that ball in his hands as many times as you can in a football game. And so late score by the Bulldogs. A little bit of pride shown here, and the fans supporting their team. Strong turnout here. Nice turnout of Homedale fans across the way.
Yeah.
Looking over there.
Yeah, probably at least 100.
A lot of space over there, and so it's a little hard to tell. We were talking about it, how big for a visitors section over there. But they actually host a lot of regional football games here. They have I want to call it American Legion or a veteran. They have an all-star football game that they do here that brings in teams from all across the state of Oregon. And so this is kind of a special place.
It's a cool atmosphere, and now I have to say this: they need to change the name to the Dog Bowl, because it really is.
Well, yeah, and you being from the background you have in film and everything, and it's an interesting speaker system. I haven't seen one of these in a long time, where the speakers are on the little spider arms going out and going both directions up and down the field. And Homedale is going to simply take a knee on the catch of the kickoff, and we'll expect they'll take a knee on the first snap here, and this football game will be over with. I'm sure there's no way Baker's going to use any timeouts here to try to stretch this one out. They got a little moral victory here with that nice little drive at the end to get a score, and I'm sure they would have loved to have gotten a win here tonight, but they also knew they were playing one of the best teams in the state of Idaho, particularly in the smaller schools. And quite frankly, some of the smaller schools in Idaho play some football that ranks right up there with the 4s and the 5s, that's for sure. West Side and the 2A school over the eastern side of the state, and of course Homedale and Sugar Salem has put up numbers so far this year, and the 3A beating 4A teams and just pounding them. So it'll be interesting to see. And that is going to be the last snap and the kneel. And this football game is over as the Homedale Trojans have moved to 3-0 on the 2022 season with a 41-14 victory over the Baker Bulldogs. And they next week will be on the road again, and they thought they had a road trip to Baker. They got a long one next week. They go all the way to Sandpoint, north of Coeur d'Alene. That's probably about a 7-8 hour bus ride, and that's probably if you're going through Washington and Spokane. So a long trip for the Trojans next week, and I'll bet there'll be a ton of Homedale Trojan fans that'll be making that trip as well. But that could be the most challenging game they have the rest of the season, maybe with the exception of Weiser within conference play, and then the playoffs. But the victory is there, and it's a 41-14 win. We'll be back in just a moment to name our player of the game, and we'll wrap this one up from Baker City.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still. So make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're Valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Because you already give them something money can't buy. We'll help with everything else, no matter what life holds. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
Welcome back to Bulldog Memorial Stadium in Baker City, where the Homedale Trojans have moved to 3-0 on the current football season with a 41-14 win over the Baker City Bulldogs. And Homedale a little slow possibly starting in this one as we were matched up early. They got an early touchdown run late in the first quarter from quarterback Jackson Dines to go up 7-0, but Baker countered with a touchdown of their own to even it up just early into the second quarter. But then when Dines hit Lamelli with a 43-yard scoring pass late in the first half to take a 14-7 lead, and then they came out in the second half with Ryland Binford just simply running the lights out of the football. Binford scored 3 straight possessions. Short runs for his touchdowns, but he had a lot of yardage getting to set up those touchdowns. And we don't have any official stats, but I imagine close to 200 yards rushing for Ryland Binford tonight. And by the time he was done, it was a 35-7 lead, and then they went to the bench, and with 5:34 to go, Cade Hall going off the bench, the freshman, scores again for Homedale. They had a lead of 41-14, and finally, with a couple of turnovers, they actually gave the ball back to Baker at midfield, and the Bulldogs drove it in there and got a nice score late in the game from their freshman sensation, Rashawn Jones, yeah. And the final score 41-14. So obviously some highlights in this game, Chandler. I mean, for Baker, they had most of it comes in either it's Malachi Meyer, one of the wide receivers, but obviously Rashawn Jones.
Yeah, and you know, talking about the IdahoSports.com player of the game, there are several candidates that could, you know, you could talk about. Obviously, we got to throw a bone to Jones on the Baker lineup. For a freshman coming in, he played extremely solid both defensively and offensively. Just a really solid player, and I can't wait to see what he does in the next 3 years here in Baker. Just a really, really solid future for him. Have to talk about Jackson Dines. Dines started out real strong, obviously leading him to that first running touchdown that he got, and just played really solid football. You know, did throw 2 interceptions, but we're not going to hold that against them because his defense was so lights out that it didn't really matter. And speaking of their defense, we have to talk about it. Up until the very end of the game, they had completely shut out Baker from the first quarter, my bad.
Right.
From the first quarter all the way until the last 30 seconds of the game, there was basically no Baker offense. Now, some of that can be contributed to Baker's, fumbled snaps.
In the first half,
particularly. Yeah. But no, the Homedale defense played absolutely lights out. Have to give a shout out to the Homedale offensive line, who were just moving the Baker defensive line all night long. You cannot run without a solid line, and their line was pushing the defense back 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards on every single play.
Yeah. Benford was not getting touched usually till he was 5 yards down, and then he made things happen.
Right.
And another one that give credit to too is you don't hear much of, and that is the kicker for Homedale. Not only was he lights out on his extra point attempts for all of those that he made, Noah Erickson kept Baker pinned deep with his kickoffs, and every time he put his foot into that football, it changed field position. So a lot of effort there. But those are all great, but you have to go with Ryland.
Yeah, Ryland Binford is our player of the game tonight. He had just such an incredibly consistent game. Not breaking out those massive 30, 40-yard runs, but consistently getting 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 yards on every single run, and just being that constant motor that Homedale really needed to keep the ball moving. Several third downs he picked up, several fourth downs he picked up on the run, and just was that go-to solid running back that they could hand the ball off to and not worry about it. So Ryland Binford, obviously playing a fantastic game, is our IdahoSports.com player of the game.
He's the winner of the award from IdahoSports.com for the Trojans. The most important thing that matters to them is they are now 3-0 with a 41-14 win. They put up 40 points or more in all three of their football games this year, and they have looked very impressive. And of course, the statistics not only are there, but those who watch from the outside, either the media and or the coaches, say right now they're the best 3A team in the state of Idaho. They're going to have some competition. Salem's looking tough over in the eastern part of the state, as they always do. Weiser within their own conference is undefeated going into play tonight, and not sure if they played. I mean, that's one thing we're sitting over here in what is now starting to feel like a chilly Baker City. You're looking for a jacket. It's clear. The moon is beautiful, and no real hint of smoke here, but for what we understand, a lot of the games over in the Treasure Valley were canceled tonight. So unfortunate for that, and how they're going to be made up will be interesting to see over the next, whether it's tomorrow or whether it's going to be something going to have to play early in a week with a game late in the week as well. And obviously that's going to make a really difficult situation, because all of a sudden you got to deal with officials and how to get them all scheduled if you move all this around. But anyway, that's been it's been a great afternoon and an evening here for us. We've had the privilege for a doubleheader. Emmett with a victory over Lake City in the first game on this field, and then now Homedale putting the final touches on the southwestern part of Idaho, winning a couple of games here in Eastern Oregon, and Homedale with the 41-14 win here tonight. Del Gray with Chandler Gray, thanking you for joining us, and it's been a great night. I want to thank Buell Gonzalez, the athletic director here at Baker High School. Just been absolutely a gem in setting us up and getting us ready to go, and being a tremendous host for the entire evening. Love that opportunity, and thank you for joining us tonight. And you'll be seeing and hearing more Homedale Trojan football sometime this season right here on IdahoSports.com. And maybe we'll even be there. We'll see you.
Who knows?
But thanks for having us tonight. Thanks for joining us. And again, Homedale winning it 41-14, the final over Baker City.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're a valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valleywide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Because you already give them something money can't buy. We'll help with everything else, no matter what life holds. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.